So good, man.
Look, man, we were going to pre-record this, dude. Let's just be honest with everybody. We were going to pre-record this tonight and, put out a nice little Aries Tarrington show. And then freaking this morning, there were two things today. I spilled my coffee twice, baby. I'm all out of coffee. I got some special wizard juice here. I've got plenty of freaking spotchka. And of course, I've got the off-world Jawa egg juice. I'm serving it all up. But listen, I spilled so much coffee today, Anthony, that I'm completely out of it because of a couple things that happened. But look, first, baby, how are you? It's the Aries Tarrington show. So what's going on? How are you?
Well, first, man, it's cool that we'll finally be able to do this show one-on-one, man. I know we've been planning it for a while, and like you said, we were going to pre-record, but it was such a cool, we had to go live, man. We had to go live. So I'm doing all right. I'm kind of fighting I'm a little sick, but hey, I'm just glad to be here and talk about this, man. This was so cool, man. I watched it live today, actually, on my channel. And that was pretty fun. People tuned in and we just kind of, everybody already seen it assuming who tuned in, but that was fun, man. So yeah, I'm super excited, man.
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to talk about that a lot, obviously, in this show. Do we need to keep it spoiler free, or what do you think? Do I got to wait a week? Because we could talk about it spoiler free. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, is there anything really spoiler-y? I mean,
well, we'll keep it like
a little bit, I guess. But
a little bit. So we'll keep it like we can still be able to talk about it. We'll let everybody know if you didn't get to see it yet. We'll kind of generalize and we won't give it away for you. How's that?
Yeah, or anybody in the chat, let us know if you want us to just go all out. If not, we can keep it. Talk. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so it looks like a lot of people saying talk about it. So that's up to you.
One's going talk, baby, talk. Nothing to spoil in the episode. Well, look, I'd welcome to you both. I just put you all in here. We'll welcome everyone in here, Anthony. TM Laura 66. Nothing to spoil in this episode. Look, I TM Laura, though, if someone would have told me some of the things that happened in this episode, I would have been like, dude, or dudette, come on, slow down. Because listen, I spilled my coffee with that freaking episode. I mean, Anthony, I was just completely freaking blown away. And it showed me the first third of the show. Showed me exactly where the Book of Boba Fett was going to go with Favreau and Filoni. Look, and let's save it because we got some other things to talk about. We're going to get to it, but I'm just priming everyone up over here. Look, baby, if people could have cousins and we could have uncles and sisters and second cousins and third cousins and stepmothers and stepdads and step-granddads, that opens the door for a lot of potential fan service coming in here. And forget about Hot Toys, buddy.
I'm with dude. It was I'm with you. There's so many, and it's funny as I was watching this episode and the first one too, but especially the second one, I'm seeing is I'm just seeing Hot Toys, man.
Look, welcome to everybody who's in here. Check everybody who's out. I'm trying to flash them all up, Anthony. This is pretty cool for you and I, because this is kind of like your first. This is my first show, the Aries Tarrington show live. The Aries Tarrington show, Anthony, has never been live, and flashing you all up on here, giving everybody a hey. You got link up in here. I'll just keep going. But that's pretty cool, isn't it, Anthony?
Oh yeah, well, we love going against the grain.
Right? Yeah, I mean,
that's fun every now and then. New year.
Welcome everybody to the Aries Tarrington Show, which is usually pre-recorded, right? And look, I had to go live. I had to go live. You remember what happened when they put out that, and that was an announcement that Luke Skywalker, the Fennec. I went live. I go live at all the big ones, and this was
Mhm.
just the official release today. But let me tell you something, baby. We're gonna get right into it. Yeah, I agree, Kyle. Book of Boba Fett episode 2 was freaking epic. I spilled my coffee. That's why I'm out of coffee. Because everybody knows what I spilled my coffee on. Let me ask you, Anthony, did you spill your coffee this morning when you saw that
Oh
freaking
man, you should
two-pack?
see the stains on my carpet. Yeah. No, it's dude, it's so good. And honestly, guys, I don't really think there wasn't much. Like, I don't think there's crazy spoilers, honestly. There wasn't like what you would expect. Like, we're not seeing like crazy big names or characters that we thought that, may have been long gone on their backs. Nothing like that. It's a lot of backstory, but it was great.
Got the super chat from Andrew James. Andrew, what's going on, my friend? Good to have you in here and good to see you with the $2 bomb. Showing some love. Nice hat, brother. Look, I was going to change. I got plenty of hats, dude. I got like a hat collection. But I had to keep
Same.
this one for today. I had to keep it just when I went live, Six Scale Mafia, on Monday coming back, because I had a whole lot to talk about live and raw with everybody in here on how much I think, we're looking for an out of body experience when it comes to the Book of Boba Fett, the first show. And for me, what was fantastic, Anthony, about the first episode of the Book of Boba Fett, we're just kind of, it's the Aries Tarrington Show, so we're just kind of shooting the crap here. Was he's in the freaking pit of Sarlacc, dude. Like, he got eaten in Return of the Jedi, one of the greatest films of all time. And
Yeah.
and we get to see what's going on inside the belly of the beast. And he doesn't just jetpack out. I mean, he comes out of the freaking sand. Dude, to me, that was the whole show. I didn't have to watch anything else, but that was absolutely stunning for me. I don't know how it was for you, but I think coming off Mandalorian season 2, when you get the greatest Star Wars character of all time, I think he even tops Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, and you bring him back correctly, and then you put him right into the middle of one of the greatest storylines ever, Din Djarin, Mandalorian, with Grogu, and then you have him come in between them and take Grogu, essentially. How do you top that with Book of Boba Fett in the first episode? You got to build it up, and I thought it was very epic seeing him come out of the pit of Sarlacc, brother.
Listen, let me go ahead and say this. I know, even amongst us, other fellow content creators or people of the community, whether it's Reddit, Facebook, anywhere, it seems like episode 1 had kind of this divisive opinion, and dude, I loved it. I thought it was everything that I wanted in a first episode. I think, I'm looking at it like it's a book. I mean, it's clearly in the title, but I mean, we have 7 chapters. I don't want to judge this show until it's in its entirety is complete. But I mean, dude, I loved it. I knew, and we knew that was going to happen. I was like, they're going to have to show him get out of the Sarlacc pit. We got that. We got a little bit of the backstory. We got a little bit of seeing what's going on. Of course, we don't know everything that's happening in the first episode. This is all going to tie in, as the series progresses. We're going to be, the picture's going to, we're going to be getting a bigger picture painted, with the whole grand scheme of things. So I loved it, man. And then with episode 2, I was like, okay, cool. I'm seeing where this is kind of going. Not really, but like, you're getting more context, especially from what happens in the first episode to the second episode. We're getting more, like I said, it's filling in a little bit more and more. I'm just, yeah, I love it, man. I thought Mando was pretty good. But no, I think Bo was going to kill it, bro. I think this is going to be the top dog show right now for me personally.
Yeah, and I'm going to piggyback off of what you said. I totally agree with all your sentiments there. Man, the hot collectibles in the cantina tonight. Hello,
Dante.
everyone. Yes, Boba Fett 2-pack suck. Are you kidding me? It looks amazing. Look, I spilled all my coffee. I'm out of coffee. There is no more coffee this evening at Six Scale Cantina, brother. There's no more coffee in Six Scale Cantina this evening, sisters. They're all gone. I got plenty of spotchka, though. Let's drink away.
I got the last cup, buddy.
Six Scale Mafia's got the last cup. Always good having Dante in the house. We got brother Dante's been on the Aries Tarrington show. So has brother Cousins here. Jay's in the house. What's going on, brother Cousins? Toy reviews. He was also a guest on the Aries Tarrington show. And welcome everybody who's in here to the Aries Tarrington show. And like usual, like always with the Aries Tarrington show, it was going to be pre-recorded. But listen, I spilled so much coffee this morning. And then I watched the Book of Boba Fett episode 2 this afternoon. Are you kidding me? And I spilled the rest that I had. There's nothing left, baby. Good to have all these people in the house. Max's Geekdom is here. The deputy in the house. Fabio from Fab's Figure. He was another one.
Yeah.
I want to say from Fabio land. Fabio, yo, what's up, fellas? Hey, everyone. The man with more figures I've seen anyone ever have. Fabio in the house. He was a guest on the Aries Tarrington show here, too. The Jedi Night's Watch is in the house. So many people here in the house. Raylo Bing says, what's up, Aries? Put in my order for the 2-pack boba. Had to after today's episode. LOL. Much, my dude. Listen, that's another interesting point, Anthony. How many people, just because of what they're seeing right now, in the Book of Boba Fett, episode 1, and even in episode 2 today, which they focused a lot on, the Tusken Raiders, I think, in the second half of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to pick up this 2-pack, bro. Just because of watching this.
No, and I and it's safe to say, because you already know this, so I think I could say it, that in this episode, there's more of a flashback, and you kind of see like how he gets his gown and his staff. So that's not really that big of a deal. We already know what he has. We've seen it like that in Mando. So absolutely, I agree. Like, I know a lot of people were sleeping on it, right? I mean, when we've talked about this for months, and a lot of people were like, it's kind of cool, but they were maybe more inclined to pick up the throne. And I get that if you're going to get one or the other, but yeah, dude. And like I said, that was, for me, we saw him first, right? That was our first reappearance of Boba since Return of the Jedi. So obviously people like you and me, we were like, we have to get this 2-pack because this is his return.
Right.
But now I'm saying, you have the 2-pack, it's on your shelf, you're looking at it. And after today, we now have all this more lore attached to that figure you're looking at, right? It's no longer just, oh, well, this is, how he came back, but we now also see like what took place and how he, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, dude, and it was no coincidence. These, Hot Toys works with Disney, obviously, with the licensing and everything. So they timed that. That is not a coincidence that he came out today. And Dante, speaking of, he almost called it, remember he was saying this was probably going to come out like December 20 something, but he was off a few days, but I'll still give him credit for that, because here it is. I mean, I didn't think we were going to get it early, and then here, but I didn't know what was going to happen with the show either. So cool that we got this early release and that it coincides with this episode. So I'm all in, dude. Yeah. I'm all in.
Yeah, he was close, and I knew he was close, and I knew he was right, and I called it on my Monday show that I knew that this was going to come out within 24 to 48 hours, and it did. Because it should have came out the week before. But yeah, it's so great to have it out. Calling out some other people in here. Proxzilla in the house, coming in late. But what's up, fellas? Good to have Proxzilla in the house. Looking forward to getting Proxzilla on here shortly in the Market Chart Show. Market Show Live, which is going to be this Saturday, Anthony. I believe you're on that one, 6 p.m. Eastern, aren't you, brother?
Hey, yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, big dog pound in the house. Single songwriter back. Always good to have single songwriter here. Yeah. Hello, collectors. It's a great year to be a Star Wars fan. Man, he couldn't be more accurate. He couldn't be more accurate right now, guys. Absolutely crazy. Going through some of this other stuff here. Putting this up from Brother Cousins. Brother Cousins dropping the
Hey.
$5 bomb. Let's see what Jay says here. The Boba Fett 2-pack is out, and it's like a holiday. It is. I had to wear the same hat again, dude. I had to wear the same hat that I freaking wore on Monday. And I put up something from the chat before with everything going on with the face sculpt, Anthony. Like you're seeing that face sculpt right now in the first couple of episodes of the Mandalorian season of the first 2 episodes of the Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett season here. And I think that that's one of the reasons why that 2-pack is going to go absolutely insane and sell out quickly, because the next head sculpts that they're going to be giving you of Boba Fett, he's going to come out of the back the tank, and he's going to, everything's going to be clean. He's going to have that cleaner look that he has than when he was with the Tusken Raiders
That's a
on
good
the
point.
sands, Anthony. So I mean, and you can't get it. Here's the thing, and I pointed this out Monday, Anthony. You cannot get that head sculpt with Boba Fett by himself. You got to get the deluxe. It's not like the deluxe just comes with a whole body and
Right.
clothes, and you could put it in. You have to get the 2-pack, or you don't get the head sculpt.
Yeah, that you bring up an interesting point. Actually, I didn't even consider that. Do you think that's what they're doing? That he's just kind of rejuvenating through the tank, and that he's just gonna it's gonna just clean them all up, remove all the scars, and just. I mean, I know there's just some subtle differences, but I didn't quite catch it because I was just, mostly I'm watching live and I'm chatting. But that is you bring up a good point, man, because and I had mentioned that as well. I actually did earlier today on the channel. I looked through the pictures and kind of talked about since it was released and what I thought. And that sculpt is a 10, and that, like you said, is right out of the I mean, it looks phenomenal, man. Usually I don't like showboating and all that, without having a figure in hand, but man, that looks amazing. Because now we got to see final product photos. So shout out to the photographers on those new pictures were just, if I wasn't sold before, which I already was, I was totally sold today when I saw it this morning. I was just like, dude,
it's freaking amazing. And it's something that I brought up on my last show too, Anthony. I think a lot of people, even including myself, we kind of forgot that head sculpt it's not just Boba Fett in the robes. Boba Fett in the robes, so we keep talking about Boba Fett in the robes. It's the darn head sculpt that doesn't come with the regular version. You have to, and they posed it. When you look at the pictures, the prototype pictures of the 2-pack Boba Fett, when they showed you the deluxe version, they have the head sculpt all over with the armor and him holding the helmet. So they knew exactly what they were doing. But if you see all the scenes with Boba Fett walking around Tatooine with Fennec and everything else, he looks completely different. He doesn't look anything
right.
like
I didn't even
that
catch that.
So I think it's really, and thank you so much, Brother Cousins, for the super chat. Welcome to everybody in here. We've got 103 watching. The Aries Carrington Show live. So hit that like button, baby. Because Anthony and I haven't even got into it yet, baby. We're going to pull up. We're going to get back to the Book of Boba Fett because there's a lot to discuss from there. But let me tell you something, baby. We want to get into the first thing that made me spill my coffee today, which is why I'm out of coffee. Are you kidding me? And welcome everybody who's in here for sure. Going through all these. I know I got the other super chats, so let me go ahead and get to it. And let me put this up on the screen from OG Fan. When Star Wars was just Star Wars. Thank you so much for the $5 drop, buddy. You got to be in your. I'm not even looking at your super chat right now. But listen, OG Fan, Anthony, this guy's got to be over the moon because
God, yeah. Always about Fett.
And he says here, can't wait to get this Boba 2-pack in hand. Said it a million times. Do not sleep on this 2-pack. Boy, you're not kidding, OG. Boba Fett is the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy. He sure as heck is. He sure as heck is. He fended off 2 cousins today. Well, Like I said, try to keep that
Yeah, he
as
did.
spoiler free as possible. 115 watching. Smash that like button, baby. The
Yeah,
Aries
guys.
Charrington Show live. My special guest, Anthony from Six Scale Mafia. So good to have you on. And
Pleasure
look,
being here, buddy.
yeah, that 2-pack, dude. I
Dude, you know what?
cannot. It's gonna go so damn quick. I'm
It
telling you.
it it is. You know what? I'm gonna switch my here. Let's put some green up there to honor the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy. There, I changed my back. I had it all red in the Sith, but yeah,
Yeah, look at that. That's super
dude.
sharp, dude.
Yeah, thank you. No, I was saying this earlier, man. This 2-pack is hitting, not now, so don't freak out. It's not a FOMO thing. I'm sure he's going to be around for a little while, but that's going to be the status of the Han Chewie 2-pack, the Tarkin Vader 2-pack. I mean, this like you said, and it'll be interesting as we look forward or look back on this in a year, what the market's going to look like. So I look forward to kind of, having a retrospective from now till then, that it's going to be huge, man. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, and let me tell you something, Anthony. And I can't wait to be pulling up these pictures and dissecting it with you in just a minute. With everybody in here, 124 watching the Aries Tarrington Show. I spilled my coffee this morning all over this 2-pack, and then with the episode 2, and I just completely spilled the rest of my coffee. I'm out of coffee, baby. I've got to I'm all into Spotchko, off-world at Jawa egg juice. But the thing of it is, Anthony, and I want to get your perspective on this. A lot of us channel creators talk about what Hot Toys needs to do. A lot of us content creators, we talk about, hey, there's a lot of figures. We have the budget, and there used to be dead stock, and there used to be that. Listen, one thing that we've noticed during COVID is Hot Toys and Sideshow have made incredible, vast adjustments because of this, because of money,
Oh yeah.
because of
Oh yeah.
Imperial credits. So you have to wonder, Anthony, is it possible that Sideshow is saying, hey, they're going to come out with so many Boba Fett's, and unlike pre-COVID, we're not going to have 8 million dead stock of a $495 figure. Obviously, they pay less, but it's not as much less as you would think. They got to sell a
Right.
lot of those puppies. They're not getting that for $150. They're paying a good amount for that set, whether it's around 300 or whatnot, whatever it is. They have to sit on that. They don't want to sit on it. This isn't like the be all end all figure. It for me, it kind of is. But the way that they're looking at it, I just don't see them ordering an overabundance, Anthony, of pre-orders at this price range.
I could see that. Because you're right. They don't want to sit on these, but I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if there's gonna have they're not gonna have like a huge allotment, but they may end up having like a second wave or possibly a third wave. They may have some allocated to them for the future, but initially, yeah, I don't think so. Because, like you said, this is pricey. Even as a distributor, the costs are still going to be a little bit of a markup because of this 2-pack. And yeah, you don't want dead weight sitting around. And honestly, because of this episode, though, I think that's gonna change a lot of people's minds.
Yeah, I think so too. And look at what Kinky Sphincter put up over here with the $2 bomb, baby. Let me pour you. I'm out of coffee. You have to go to Dunkin' Donuts tonight to get your coffee, baby, because I spilled it all. But here, or Starbucks. I guess you can go to Starbucks, right? Hey. But here's some Spotchka for you, my friend. Or do you want some off-world Jawa egg juice? Listen, we all spilled the coffee today. It's done. It's over. Kaput. He brings up a good point. But I like that what Kinky Sphincter brings up over here to Super Chat. I hope we get a 1/6 back to take. Look, I told everyone from episode 1, and there's one that I missed. But if you watch episode 2 today, I won't miss this. My good friend, my really good friend. I'm really good friends with Max Rebo. Okay, he's played live for me before, Anthony. He's phenomenal. I'm on Planet Tatooine. And you have to wonder, because we've talked about this as a joke, for how many months? Oh, the Max Rebo band, the Max Rebo band. Listen to me, baby.
I'm all in.
You got freaking Max Rego. What do you call that other guy? Figuring Dan or you know the guy from the A New Hope? Can you
Yeah.
see that 2-pack right now?
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it because Sideshow did it, and they sold quite well, if I recall. And I haven't looked like on the market for those pieces yet, because honestly, it's I don't really want a Sideshow piece, and plus they're so long. They've been out so long. I know that they're expensive. So if Hot Toys did that, dude, come on. Can you imagine kind of recreating a cantina scene with Jabba and like a Han Carbonite? And I mean, dude, I do all sorts of cool Jedi stuff.
Would you? Let me ask you a question. Put you on the spot. If they came out with just a 2-pack, they had Max Rebo, with the stand, they could have him on the drum set, wherever he's playing there, whatever he's playing, and they have the figure Dan, the alien there. Would you buy that 2-pack from Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah, I would.
How many of you in the chat would buy if that's going to be listen? I guess you really couldn't call it a Return of the Jedi Max Rebo, right, Anthony? And you couldn't call it a figure Dan from the A New Hope. But man, I think a lot of OT people like myself, you're putting those two together. You got one bed, you got one from one bed from A New Hope, and then you got another from Max Rebo. So you put them all together, and I could almost buy that and add that to my OT collection.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You totally could. For me, I was like, this would be great. And yeah, pretty much, dude, honestly, anything that they could come out with from this show, I would buy. And
yeah,
I don't know if we should
look at this here with this chat, because I mentioned I really think we're going to get a Boba Fett. I mentioned on Monday Night Raw, brother.
Oh yeah.
Listen, I mentioned that I think they're going to give us a Boba Fett cross between Return of the Jedi and the 2-pack that just came out, Boba Fett and the Sarlacc coming out. But what about Boba Fett in the back of the tank or something? I mean, they could do all kinds of stuff.
They could do that. They could do that. You know what? You know what? I don't know if we should mention it or not, but I will say that I don't even want to say it. They're pulling from Legends, bro.
Yeah.
They're pulling from Legends. They already kind of have, right? I mean, Thrawn was Legends.
Mm-hmm.
They ended up bringing him in Rebels and, name dropping him in Mando. But knowing that we're getting another, dude, the chat's already talking about it.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
Well, real quick here, Fig Fate. Want to welcome Fig Fate to the Cantina in here tonight, but also want to welcome Fig Fate, the newest YouTube member, the newest Cantina Insider.
Hey.
And that's awesome. So welcome, Fig Fate, and thank you so much for joining to become a Cantina Insider. That's awesome. And let's actually share my screen here real quick, Anthony. Let's go to this because I want to get to this. I want us to look at some of these pictures. But first, I want to tell everybody here, if you don't have sixscalecantina.com bookmarked, which is what I just pulled up, you may want to consider doing so. Not only does it give you all the news for everything that's happening at the Six Scale Cantina channel, like the New Year's special show that I just had this past Monday. But if you go down over here, you see the breaking news just from today. Boba Fett 2-pack released, baby. Click on the image below for all pics. Click on the image for a Hot Toys Facebook pic. So, again, let's go to this, Anthony, because I'm like, I'm going to try and open it up over here and see if I could, I might have to switch the screen. So give me 1 second to do that. But
take your time.
I couldn't believe the, let me stop this screen and let me share another one. I couldn't believe this morning, dude. I absolutely couldn't believe it. Here we go. Come on. I mean, here's the first one, dude.
Phenomenal.
Are you kidding me? I mean, just look at that. And I don't know, dude, if I've ever seen a hot toy look better than this for Star Wars. I mean, and maybe the photographer is awesome, and I'm sure that the photographer is.
Yeah, but as
But
the old
come
saying goes, man,
on.
you can't polish a turd. So, I mean, and this is most certainly not a turd like this, right? Because I know photography can make things look great, but it already is great. Even if we looked at the prior images, they looked phenomenal. This just elevates it. You know what I mean? It's already
Wow.
an
I
amazing
mean,
piece.
what do you guys all and gals think in the chat when you saw this today? All right, let me ask you a question. I went over in December what my top 10 Star Wars head sculpts were of all time. I actually didn't go over my top 10 Star Wars Hot Toys releases of all time, which doesn't necessarily have to have the best head sculpt, right, Anthony? That's just the best releases.
Of course.
But I'm going to ask you a question here, combining it all together. Best head sculpts of all time, best figures of all time. I don't know, dude. I'm having a hard look at that, dude. I'm having a hard time trying to put this beneath another figure right now. Talk to me. That's my gut impression. I can't think of a Star Wars figure hot toy right now that beats this.
It's pretty rough. I mean,
it's rough.
I'm trying to think. I'm looking, and I mean, I've got some great Star Wars, man. You know, from New Hope to Rogue One to, you know, Mando, everything. I mean, there's some good ones. Does he beat Tarkin? I don't know. You know, here's the thing.
I think he does. I'm gonna have to check out everybody's reviews. There's going to be a bunch of people, including, you know, Dante, that does phenomenal reviews. You do reviews. Look to see your review. Lael does reviews.
I will be reviewing this.
I can't wait for everybody's review. But let me ask you something. Listen, if the reviews look like this, or even make it look better than this, I say, let me put it to you this way: is it possible that the Dark Jedi thinks that this is better than the Grand Moff Tarkin, or even the Alec Guinness head sculpt? And I say, yes. I mean, come on, dude. Look at this thing. My coffee went all over the damn place looking at this.
Well, here's what I'll do. Go ahead. I'm here. I'll be right back, but I'm here.
Listen, everybody, while he's picking something up, I'm sure he's getting Tarkin, and I'm sure he's getting Alec Guinness, and I'm too lazy to get up to get my Alec Guinness, although I don't have Tarkin. I mean, come on. And look at that.
Didn't have to go far.
No, I kind of figured what you were doing. Which figure did you get? Or did you get them both?
I got them both.
All right.
I got them both because, I mean, we can really like.
All right, let me put you up on the screen here.
All right, so we've got our Boba Fett there. I mean, this is still a really damn good sculpt.
It's one of the best that they've ever done. Hot Toys has ever done.
Really, really is, right? And if we were to put him down for a minute, and let's pick up Hold Ben, also amazing.
It's good.
But you know what? When I'm looking at these two sculpts right now,
yeah,
that sculpt has already ruined me. It's ruined me.
I know.
I'm like, you know what? This looks pretty good.
I have the same damn thing over here with Alan.
Right? I'm like, it looks good, and then I look at the picture, and I'm like, dude.
Unless
I don't know, man. These guys might have a run for their money.
Maybe the dude that took the photos, or the dudette, whoever it was, kind of, you know, like painted it a little bit, and maybe he actually took pictures from, you know, maybe he took pictures from episode 6 of The Mandalorian season 2 and kind of just pasted it on there. Because listen, dude, that's kind of how I'm feeling right now with this freaking thing. Come on. I mean, dude.
Well, not only that, Aries, think about this though. What you mentioned earlier about it's not always about the sculpt, right? That it's going to also be, this is a 2-pack, right? The Tarkin, for example, is just in, you know, Imperial attire, which is cool. But with this, we've got 2 figures. We've got full armor. We've got the robes. I mean, you've got 2 figures. I just, you know, and it's crazy because it's the beginning of the year. I guarantee you this 2-pack is going to be on my top 10 of 2022. If not number 1. I mean, it's just the beginning of the year, but he is for sure going to be on that list.
All right, so listen, we're going to get right back to the pictures here from DVS with the $2 bomb. Thank you so much. Black Wookie is Black Chris Santon. Come on, Hot Toys. Oh, listen.
That's
Look,
what I'm
and
talking
I don't want
about.
to spoil this episode for anybody here. We have 119 watching the Aries Tarrington show live. It's all about Boba Fett tonight. I'm still wearing the hat. We were going to pre-record Anthony and I's Six Scale Mafia, the Aries Tarrington show, and we talked and said, is it possible that we should go live? And we said, yes.
Yes.
That's why we're here. Yeah, I was blown away. Look, I don't want to give away too much about this character, but this character is badass, dude. This is badass. So listen, you know that Chewbacca is also alive, dude. He's alive during this time. And I don't know if Chewbacca and Han got their hands into Contra Club yet. You remember Force Awakens? I mean, all that stuff that Han did, you know, it didn't just happen, you know, within the last year from Force Awakens. It could have happened 10, 15, 20 years ago. Who knows? 25 years ago. So I really think, is it possible, Anthony, that we can actually get a Chewbacca or Han Solo appearance in the Book of Boba Fett? What say you?
Well, I mean, rumors aside, right? Because we've heard
rumors. Well, rumors aside, because Han Solo supposedly already signed to do these parts. But go ahead.
Right, but I don't know until I see it. Right, that's all he said. She said reportedly and you know, rumored. Those are buzzwords. So until we see it. With that said, yes, that's 100% possible given the environment that we're in for the show, the landscape that it takes place in, the timeline.
Well, listen, there is. How do you top Luke Skywalker? And not only top Luke Skywalker coming back in the right way for the Mandalorian season 2, which is it also, people forget that it was intertwined, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, Anthony, with Din Djarin and Grogu, which was Baby Yoda the first season. Then after Ahsoka came out on episode 5, the name got revealed as Grogu. That was a very long episode. It was 8 episodes in season 1. You know, you go through 8 episodes in season 2, and you do right by Luke. So it's very hard to top. Here's how you can do it. We've already talked about Samuel L. Jackson, which, listen, I don't mind talking about this because I don't really feel like this is a spoiler. But in episode 2, again, you see Jango Fett. You see the Jango Fett helmet. You see young Boba back on what do you call that planet again? The
Kamino.
Kamino. You see him on Kamino. Again, that was another epic thing. And he keeps remembering his dad. Why do they keep freaking showing his dad's helmet? Is it possible, Anthony? The reason Favreau and Filoni are showing it is because they want to say, screw you, fandom. We're never bringing back Sam Jackson. He's only going to be in Marvel. Or are they going to bring this dude back?
That is, you know, I was just thinking that as you were talking about Mando. And I think the reason why Mando worked so well is because that's kind of what Mando was really about, if you think about it, right? I mean, we had Grogu since episode 1. We knew that he was force sensitive since episode 2, right? So the Mando story has always been force themed, as it were, right? Like you mentioned, we got Ahsoka, and that was leading into he needs to be taken care of and protected and trained, and then, like, you know, bringing in Luke. Like I said, it was all Jedi. You know, Mando's all Jedi stuff.
Thanks to get a little Thrawn and some other stuff, but go ahead.
Yeah, just they're doing a little drops for the future, but yeah, mostly Jedi stuff. I don't see it with Boba. So I would say I'd be more likely to see somebody along the lines of Han as a smuggler, you know, or Chewie or something to that extent, or Cad Bane, you know, to go with this theme. This theme's not very Force themed or Jedi Sith themed, but yeah, because they keep talking about Jango, or showing that, you know, these flashbacks, these memories he's having, and Mace is a big part of that. So even if it's a small thing, it's not into, you know, it's not Force themed per se, right? They're not building to it. So I yeah, dude, it's totally possible that he shows up. 100%.
Yeah, and I think Favreau and Filoni are going to blow us away in here. They blew me away today with the cousins, with the Wookiee they were talking about. Look, forget about seeing Max Rebo and figuring Dan again and all. Listen, you guys, if you haven't watched it yet, you have absolutely got to watch episode 2 of the Book of Boba Fett. The first half of the show is going to absolutely knock your socks off. You're going to spill your coffee. You're going to make more coffee. You're going to spill it again. Then you're going to remember that Hot Toys just came out with this freaking epic 2-pack that looks absolutely incredible. And then you'll spill the rest of your coffee and all you're going to be having is spotchka. 140 in here. Please smash that like button and let's go to this, Anthony. Fig Fate with the $5 bomb. Thank you. This is an amazing set and will skyrocket in value. I pre-ordered it, but canceled when Boba with the Throne was announced. I'm second guessing that now. Ooh. Listen, it's hard. I get it because I get it. Because you could only and the Boba Fett with the Throne is like 300 something dollars, right? I think 375,
360, 370. I forget.
It's pricey.
But yeah,
it's pricey. Yeah. But if you want my opinion, if you're second guessing this, but you could afford it, I'd get it. I'd get it, Fig Fate. I don't know, Anthony, if you got advice for him, but if you could afford it, man,
I'm in the same boat, man. Don't break your wallet over it. But if you're really thinking about it now, like if this was something you were gonna pass, and now you're like, you know what, actually, and you can swing it, yeah. Because Dante mentioned it as well in the chat I saw earlier that regardless of what it is, all these 2-packs, man, they go up in value. So you may be regretting it down the road if you know what I mean. If you pass up on it.
Let me ask you this, Anthony.
But yeah,
which one would you recommend if he's able to cancel his pre-order? If money is an issue, then don't get it. It doesn't really matter. These are just toys. But if you had to choose between the Throne but listen, the Throne goes with Fennec, but you don't necessarily need Fennec. You don't need that Throne to go with Fennec, and there's going to be a billion Boba Fett's coming out. Would you recommend buying this or Boba and the Throne? Which one's going to be even more coveted?
Well, I'm a little biased to this question because if I was going to get the Throne, it'd have to be with Fennec. So now I'm buying the Throne. Yeah, so I'm already spending actually more money if you think about it.
It really is.
The 370 plus 270 for Fennec.
Mm-hmm.
It's like $600 right there.
Yeah, because I don't even know how you get it without Fennec.
Yeah, it'd be rough, and it just depends, man. And if you like this, like me, and you we're like, this is his appearance, this is his reappearance, since Jedi, that we finally get to see him again. That holds more value to me than him on a throne, right? For me personally. So to get them both, man. that's I'm a bad influence, but hey, if you can swing it, man, get them. They're both pretty dang cool, and Fennec's not gonna be out for a year and a half. So to me, I was like, I got time to wait on that one, dude. And by a year and a half from now, if that's what you want, you'll probably have some more money by then.
Yeah, and this was the most epic moment for Boba Fett, in my opinion, when he went into the Razor Crest and took the armor and came out and became Boba Fett with the armor. The most epic comeback, one of the most epic comebacks, and the way he just smashed those troopers like Chirrut Imwe was doing. I mean, look at this dude. And now you talk about troopers that have come out. You talk about other figures. We've already talked about the head sculpt, and you brought out your Alec Guinness one. You brought out your Grand Moff Tarkin one, and thank you for your honesty, Anthony, because you were looking right at those live and then looking at the aforementioned picture, and you're like, you know what, Aries, you may be onto something. This may be the most epic release ever. Now, when you start looking, you talk about Hot Toys innovating, brother, because you look at that Fennec, and I could pull her up again.
Phenomenal
that
too.
Freaking looks that's phenomenal too, and that's just a prototype. Is it possible that this actually looks better than the prototype? And I say yes. Yeah. So do you.
Yeah. Oh, and we talked about this on my show actually this Monday. Very, very, very same topic. As far as sculpts go and prototypes, that it's always, look, at the end of the day, that's the bottom line is Hot Toys are a gamble. That's the gist of it, because Sometimes you have prototype releases that look phenomenal, and the final product's not that good. Other times it's the latter. You know, you've got a announcement prototype doesn't look that great, final product blows it away. This is one that blows it away, and I wasn't even complaining at the prototypes of this figure. It's just even better.
Well, look, dude, if you decide to just get Boba Fett by himself, not the deluxe, you're not going to be able to have poses like this. And notice that obviously Hot Toys did it with their prototype photos. As a photographer, I guess a freelance one, but it's the same thing. Look, unless you get that 2-pack, you can't make this pose. And it's freaking absolutely. I mean, have you? Okay, maybe I'm being biased because I like weathering more than not weathered. Usually, okay, usually. I am very partial though. I like the weathering on the A New Hope Darth Vader, but I do prefer the sleek, like Bandit Trans Am look of of the Empire Strikes Back one. So it depends. But dude, this look of Boba Fett, I am finding it hard right now. Is there a Hot Toys figure weathering wise that beats this?
No, I don't think so. I'm trying to think in my head. I think,
Yeah, I mean,
especially recently, like Rex looks pretty good. Rex has
yeah,
all his markings. He does have some good weathering throughout the whole armor, but not to this extent. Not to this extent.
I mean, in the chat, let me know. I mean, we're talking real here. We're just giving it to you. I really don't know if there's a figure right now, and we have to wait to see all these reviews that are going to be coming out, which are going to give us a lot more insight. There could be problems with the figures, right? There could be this. Who knows? But just from at first glance, are you kidding me? How do you not spill your coffee on this? Unless you don't drink coffee. Maybe you spilled your Dr. Pepper, or maybe you spilled your water or your tea or whatever it is that you had, baby. But my goodness, I mean, oh, look at that.
It's dope, dude.
Dude, look at that.
Yeah. I see BMW lover in the chat saying Heavy Mando is really weathered, and you're right, he is. But I think because he's so dark, he's got those dark navy blues. It doesn't pop quite as well in comparison.
No, it's an awesome figure. I don't think it pops like this.
Only because the contrast of colors. This kind of like this green, this green and the yellow, like it's lighter earth tones, and the way I just think it pops, man. Just that picture alone, looking at his chest, looking at the backpack, looking at the helmet, that's really all that's in focus right here. And that is completely detailed, man. That is so much weathering. At first I'm not really like everybody else where I was not on the fence about buying this because I was going to get it. I was, however, a little bit on the fence with the armor, because it was really, really scuffed up, kind of has that bird poop look to it. But the more I've looked at it, I'm loving it way more. I think some of the earlier photos, when you just see it like kicked back with a wide shot and not the best lighting, that white looked really white. But I think it was just because of the lighting. Looking at these photos though, I'm like, okay, that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
Well, everybody, welcome to the Aries Charrington Show live. My special guest, Anthony from Six Scale Mafia. 142 of you in here live to see us live to talk about Boba Fett Day. Please go ahead and hit that like button. And please go ahead and also subscribe to Six Scale Cantina. Much appreciate your support. And please go ahead and subscribe to this man right here, the Six Scale Mafia, Anthony. Now, listen, there's two ways you can subscribe to Anthony. You can go to sixscalecantina.com, go to the links and resources tab, which is right past the market value chart tab. And he's listed in there. Just click on him, go to the YouTube thing, hit subscribe. Or go to the video description here, and he's in there, and click it. Or just go to YouTube, put in Six Scale Mafia, he comes right up. Listen, so subscribe to both of us, baby. But look at Fig Fate here. $5 Bob again. Oh, I think Fennec with Throne is an absolute must. Gotta have Fennec, no question. I pre-ordered that too. This 2-pack is calling to me, though. Listen, I'm right with you, Fig Fate. I think it's probably calling. Look at that, dude.
So dope.
Okay, so forget about all the pre-orders. How many more pre-orders how much more will they order? How much of the production will new pre-orders build up on this, Anthony? Because we don't know if there's going to be like what, second batch,
I
maybe a
think
third batch. Now it's
I
hard
think
with
there
these,
will.
yeah, with these high price figures though. They don't typically do a whole lot of them unless there's an incredible amount of demand.
Yeah. Well,
And this figure was not very high.
no,
It
but now
wasn't.
there's a good way to gauge that, right? Because of today's episode. So we're gonna see what the well, we're not gonna know, but Sideshow is gonna see the numbers of new pre-orders in the next coming week, in the next 7 days, for example. And
Mhm.
I, I'm no doubt in my mind those numbers are gonna go up. So, and again,
Yeah.
like I said earlier, if they didn't quite get enough, they'll have another shipment come over.
Did you
So I mean, is this a situation with Heavy Mando? I wonder. Is it? I mean, and this is a 2-pack, so that would be a little bit crazy, right? Because Heavy Mando waitlisted before he even came out last year, if you
Yeah.
remember. Now,
I think it is, and I think because there's so many other Boba Fett's that are going to come out and they're already working on and they haven't, they're working on with Disney. I mean, just flicking through these photos, dude. I mean,
yeah,
oh my God. I mean, I don't know. To me, this is too weird because I think Boba Fett always winds up selling out within 2 or 3 months, right? No matter which version it is,
yeah,
it
yeah.
sells out. So the version here without the deluxe, Anthony, is going to sell out in a few months. Let's give it a few months. You want to say 4 months? Say 4 months, fine. How fast is this going to go? And my question is how much with this head sculpt are they initially going to produce? Because I just get a funny feeling with this because you could only get this in a 2-pack. And I think they want to move a lot of these in the single pack. Now think about this from a production perspective, Anthony. They already know in their head they're going to be producing more Boba Fett's without the head sculpt and without the other body because they're offering it by itself.
right.
So right there, they're probably making as many of those Boba Fett's as they always do. And that's another part of the equation. I just don't see where they will make more of this. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Like I said, I think what they have is what they
Mm.
have. Let's just say Hot Toys, not necessarily Sideshow. Now, so there's a finite number. If Sideshow happens to run out with increased sales, I know they're going to they'll grab some more overseas. It may take a little while. It might be like a end game cap situation where some people, maybe not that long of a wait, but where some people got it and then you had to wait a few more months and then people started getting some more again. Like I don't think he's going to go fast, but he is going to go, like you said, probably 3-4 months. Maybe I don't know. It's hard to say, man. I'm not trying to influence someone into having to grab this. As if you can't afford it right now, wait a little bit. I'm sure you still have time. It's not going to just go right out the door, but
it
it's
it
there.
it may be with 152 in here. It may be, and part of the theme of the Aries Character show today, correct me if I'm wrong, Anthony, is this the best figure for Star Wars ever released? Because we're talking about looking at this, and we've already talked about the head sculpt, and we're having a very hard time right now putting it above. Where would the best produced figure, if it is to a lot of people, I'm not going to say it is for everybody, but if it is for a lot of people, the best figure of all time, and they're just not going to produce this on the level of the best car Mandalorians. It's just not going to be done. It's not
No. Yeah.
going to be done. Where do you see this at 495 in a year in the secondary market compared to the Han and Chewbacca A New Hope 2-pack? Or how about the Han and Chewbacca the Force Awakens 2-pack, which is approaching the $700 tier range? How about Vader and Tarkin, which is $860 now, $40 away from 900? With those 3 2-packs, where do you see this in a year? Where do you see it then in 2 or 3 years?
I think I'm going to say probably $1,000, man, to tell you the truth.
Mhm.
And the reason I say that is because from what I've noticed over the years, almost everything of those of this type of caliber, right? These 2-packs, whatnots, and even statues. Other things like that are kind of low run things of that nature. They're double usually in price, and you got to remember that what you had mentioned, those previous 2-packs were not a $500 2-pack. So, they were up there, but with the Hot Toys have been increasing their prices. Let's just be real. So with that, no one's going to buy a $500 because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be $500, if not a little bit more after tax and shipping, no matter where you get it. Whether you get it day one, whether you get it from Sideshow, it doesn't matter. You're already in over 500. You're not going to put this up for $800. It's not worth it. So I'm thinking it's going to hit nine to a grand.
Yeah, look at what
my predictions.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I was looking for your thoughts, and that's another reason not to sit on this. And you may be right. There may be 3-4 months that you could get this. I actually think, is it possible that this 2-pack could go on wait list? You mentioned the heavy infantry Mandalorian. Could this be the figure this year before it ever gets in stock? Is it possible? And I say yes. That's not a guarantee. Yeah. But I've already had a yellow alert as far as waitlist goes on the 2-pack. I don't have it on the single one. And they're going to be making more of the single ones anyway. But it's a possibility. But even if I'm wrong, or even if it goes the opposite end of the spectrum, it's not that I'm wrong, just goes 4 months. It's still, in your opinion, whether it's in there does it even get in stock or in stock a week or 4 months, that's still going to be $1,000 set in your opinion.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now while we're chatting, I just I'm not buying these obviously, but I just added 6 to the cart. And that worked. So I'm usually I kind of go off.
Let's see what happens in a week or two.
Right. But right now I can order 6 of them for $3,000.
And another reason why I just don't think that they're going to be making an exorbitant amount of extra stock so that this could be dead stock when they run out of all the Hot Toy fans who are wanting this, because they've already went through it with some figures in COVID, particularly those best car Mandalorians. You got Sideshow demanding with a lot of figures that they release at the same time because they're losing money. You've got Hot Toys who are doing more about less production and more volume. So I just don't see where they're going to make this mistake on something that's going to be this costly. There's a certain amount when you're in manufacturing and production for a lot of years, and I've got a lot of experience in that you got to look ahead. And even if it's a very popular character within a fandom, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to sell as much as a Grogu or a Mando at that moment. And you can always do what, Anthony? You're going to make 1 million more Boba Fetts. You might make more Boba Fetts than the Mandalorian, to be honest with you. You might make more versions of him.
We and you and I have talked about this, Dante, Fabio, we've talked about this in the past on several different streams. And the thing is with this is Hot Toys is not the fandom. They're the business. And this is really a turn and burn situation. And this is kind of how we predicted, and Dante as well, that, we wanted, or we assumed that this figure would be coming out earlier to coincide with the release of the show, because there are going to be more Bobas. And maybe we're going to get an announcement soon. And then they're going to be like, wow, we have all these. And maybe people aren't buying them now because they're getting the next best thing. It's like people that always upgrade their phone every year or something. There's something there where you're chasing a dragon. Oh, well, this is the newest Boba Fett, so I'm going to get that one. Right. So now the previous one doesn't look as appealing. So I think that's something that they consider. And that's why we're getting this now, because we are getting more Bobas.
Well, I'm putting this up from the collector. Maximum Rex, I see your super chat. I'm putting that up in just a second, brother. The collector says, just wait when they release all of these Tuskens. Look, he's got a good point there, Mafia. Ooh. I'll say it again, what he said. Just wait until they release all those Tuskens. The Robe Fett is a must. All right, talk to me, Anthony. Does he have a good point?
Yeah. 100%. And even if we're not talking about, even if, I mean, we're talking a little bit about episode 2, but episode 1 for sure. That's the first thing I thought of. That matriarch, because that's what I'm understanding. I think, right? It's like that specific Tuscan tribe, the lead male and female. Whether or not those are coming out individually, I doubt they're going to be a 2-pack. But if they each come out, or just one of them, dude, something like that is coming.
They're so heavy, Tuscan Raiders, and I love the different looks. I think they look hot. It's actually got me even more intrigued. Don't skimp if you got the money on that OT Tuscan Raider from the Mandalorian, because we're going to be getting all these different versions, at least one. They're so dominant in the show. I just don't see how they don't do it. But yeah, the Rogue Boba Fett, that's a really good point. Let me put this up from Maximum Rex. When Django and Wolf. When Django, listen, they've already showed you Django's helmet. They're showing these Attack of the Clones type scenes here in episode 1 and episode 2. Okay. Which, as Anthony and I were talking about it before, you have to wonder, is it possible that Favreau and Filoni know that the more that they show Jango, they don't have to show Jango Fett's helmet. You don't think that they're dumb. They sit in these boardrooms and they sit in these rooms and they're like, well, people are going to think Mace is coming back, so let's not put that in there because we're not giving them false hope. The false hope is they're going to bring him back. Well,
like, here's the thing. Because this was something I was thinking about. And I think it happened organically. And I think that's what's so wonderful about Favreau and Filoni, is that when they brought Tamora Morrison back, I know one of the things he wanted to do was kind of not show off, but like represent the Maori culture. We never saw that prior in the OT movies. So it was really cool to me that they were like, oh, okay, well, let's give him a gaffy stick. Like we saw him just whoop ass in Mando, right? And he's got that look and the tongue coming out, and it's very, I love that they did that. And with that, that's what I'm saying. I think it kind of went organically through that. They're like, you know what? Well, let's make him part of the Tuscans, right? Because this is very tribal. And as we, bleed into the Book of Boba Fett, you know what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? It's like, it's really cool how they've just, because they don't already have this all planned out, right? They start in a writer's room and they're like, okay, where are we going to go with this? And, they plan it all out. And it's cool that they consider all these things. And I think it's amazing what they've done with the character. I already liked Boba back in the day, but let's be real. We were young. He just looked badass. He didn't do much in the original trilogy. He was cool. He captured Han, but then he died. So we didn't get a lot of him. Now we're seeing like this like he was already cool then. Now he's just badass.
So, and I agree. And with Jango Fett, to answer your question, Maximum Rex, thank you so much for a $2 super chat. I think you're going to get that absolutely for sure. Officially announced before Ahsoka and before the Clone Wars Mall. And probably, is it possible that you're going to have it before the end of this month? And I say yes. It's going to go great with the show, and it's going to be huge. And plus, I really, really believe that we're going to see Mace Windu, baby, in the Book of Boba Fett. And the whole thing about releasing that Jango Fett, are you kidding me, from Attack of the Clones is going to be epic. I think that's going to be one of the very next Star Wars releases that you're going to get. But hey, it's the Hot Toys Wizard.
Oh,
why are you speaking to me in sign language? Yes. Yeah, and you look great. Yes. But Ronda Rousey, does she she's not deaf. She but you're doing sign language. Okay, bye. Well, Hot Toys Wizard just dropped by and told me there, Anthony, that with Popsick in the house, are you kidding me, baby? That we've got coffee again. The Hot Toys Wizard, as disguised as Ronda Rousey. just delivered coffee and helped all the wizard elves help brew it up in there. So guess what, Popsick? If you're on table 5, so is little Grogu. And let's go ahead and fill everyone up, Anthony. What do you say? Even on the Aries Tarrington show, we had to do that. That is absolutely crazy. Good to have Popsick in the house.
Oh yeah.
At table 5. Oh my goodness gracious. So many in here. Mandalorian Huntress in the house. Must have Tuscan Chief and a massive hot toy. Yeah. All right, dude. All right. We got to go back to this because I want to get into the book of Boba Fett here. But look, I'm pulling this back up on the screen. Come on. Talk to me, Anthony. Have you been thinking in the back of your head a figure right now that tops this? Let's look.
Yeah, because it's tough to consider, right? Because there's a lot, like you mentioned earlier. It's not just a head sculpt that we look into when we buy figures. Of course, that's a factor, but you know, the accessories, the armor, and this situation's a 2-pack. I mean, when you try to factor in everything, the detailing, the weathering, I mean, you're putting all this in one giant bucket, right? Basically, and you're looking at it as a whole. And I'm telling you, man, I mean, I have just about every Star Wars hot toy, minus a few troopers and, you know, something here. I got a lot of them, but through everything that I have, that's a top tier. And it's also the connection to the character, right, as well. So, I mean, obviously I'm going to love Luke Skywalker probably more than I will ever love Boba Fett. And that's just me being real, you know, growing up with him, you know, but either way, if you take that out and you look at the figure as what they are, dude, this thing's amazing, man. And
does it come with this trooper or am I just?
No, it comes with the helmet though, if I recall, right? And they just kind of
come with the helmet.
Let's double check. I think it comes with that helmet, and I think they just put it on a trooper body just for show.
Look at this, dude,
it's so.
I forgot that it came with a helmet. I actually forgot. If it comes with that crushed helmet, I'm going to spill more coffee.
I think it does come with the helmet, dude.
It pops like up. You're kidding me. Because, you know, you get so focused, you know, and I just didn't even remember that if it comes with that helmet, I mean, how much of a bargain is this 2-pack set getting 2 figures, dude?
Yeah, it comes with the helmet. I'm looking at it right now.
It comes with the damn helmet. Wow.
Yeah, the deluxe version exclusive comes with the head sculpt, the crushed helmet, the hollow part of, I think, I don't know if that's Django, or where he was trying to show his history or whatever, I don't remember. And then it comes with the stick and the rifle and a pistol for the deluxe. So yeah, you get the helmet.
Well, 164 in here. What are the things? Welcome to Aries Tarrington Show Live. Anthony and I from Six Scale Mafia, we were going to pre-record this tonight. And then all of a sudden this dropped when I woke up in the morning. He left me a message. I left him a message. So many people left me a message. And then all of a sudden the Book of Boba Fett episode 2 just completely blew us away. And we're like, look, we got to go live, baby. We've got to bring the Aries Tarrington Show for the first time live. So here we are with 160 in here. Please smash that like button. But dude, some of the things for people that are coming in here late, now that we got so many in here, we were actually discussing, Mafia, right? That we were you actually pulled out your Alec Guinness. I put you on big screen here. Your Alec Guinness Obi-Wan head sculpt. You pulled out the Peter Cushing, Moff Tarkin one that you had, and I knew you were going to do this because when you look at it almost it's hard to, and you got those in person, which really is dynamic when you see it in person. It's hard to say that they're better than this, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't think they are, personally. I mean, and I've said this in the past with other things, and I'm not saying that this is in the same league as Tarkin and Obi-Wan, but like my first Avenger cap from 2012, when that came out, I thought that looked pretty good, but it's not a great figure. And then when you get Endgame cap and you compare the two, you're like, Jesus, man, yeah, it's been like 10 years, but massive improvement, and that's how I'm feeling right now. These figures are, I don't know, 5 years old, 6 years old, and something like that. I forget. But they're starting to age. They're still phenomenal. But now I feel like this is the same situation with me. Now I look at this Boba, and you pair them together, and you're just like, yo, I really thought this was good, and it still is. But this, you're seeing like how much better they're getting.
Just to address
crazy.
Rabistide fan 79, no, we're not going to give away any spoilers. We're not going to talk about the plot. And please be careful in the chat. There's a couple of things that are like no brainers in there. You're going to see Tusken Raiders again. They're going to continue with the story. A few things will go in there. We won't give away any big plot points or those type of things and type stuff. But you guys got to see it. It is absolutely amazing. But I agree. And then look, dude. I mean. And I just you just confirmed that, so the single songwriter and a bunch of people in the chat, it comes with that. That's so sweet. It comes with the Stormtrooper crushed helmet. I just finding it hard to find even a release in general that could top this. Maybe
I'm with you.
I mean, the Han and Chewbacca 2-pack from A New Hope is awesome. I will say that. Vader,
it's awesome, but doesn't even hold a candle to it.
No,
it just doesn't, because you're getting, you got to understand, even though they're 2-pack, those are two different characters, right? Every 2-pack we get is two different characters, unless you get like a Stormtrooper 2-pack, right? Even then, they're kind of different, but they're still the same. But
single songwriter goes, spoiler: Venom is not in the Book of Boba Fett, but is it possible in today's episode that Bail Organa was there? And I say, listen, you have to watch it.
Yeah, if you were on the fence about the first episode, like I said, we mentioned before earlier, some people are a little divisive with it. I think they'll be pleased with the second episode. There's some more action. There's some more lore going on. A lot of cool callbacks. Just, you got to watch it. It's good. It's really good.
All right. In your opinion, Anthony, because you do reviews, correct?
Correct.
And they're very, very epic. And
appreciate that.
So you've seen a lot of final production photos, and then you've been able to evaluate them and then get the figure in hand. Your honest opinion, when you get this in hand, is it going to be better or worse or equal to this?
Well, I think for sure it's going to be equal, no matter what. But there's something different between looking at photos and having something in your hands, tactile. I'll be able to touch it and move the joints. And my only concern is, as a matter of fact, this picture right here is there's a fat suit. You can tell, Now, I don't know if it's going to be
bad. He is a little chunky. He got, chunkier,
Yeah, he did. And I get that. That's totally cool. No complaints. But just being in the game, and understanding these figures and like say messing with Mando or something, some of those, it's hard to move those joints, man. So I don't know if I can get that shoulder up high. But that's not gonna take away from the quality of the figure itself. That just might be more of a complaint for me, because I like to pose, and I'll be doing that in a review. Like, for example, I'll take that helmet, I'll put it on a Stormtrooper, I'll make a cool pose, have him, smashed, and have him on like a flight pole or something cool. Like, I love doing that and taking photos. So for me, I cannot imagine this would be worse in hand than what I'm looking at right now. No way. If anything, it's going to be better.
That's what I was going to ask you. Can you imagine? Is it possible, Anthony, that this will actually be better than what you're looking at here, like the Lando was?
Yeah, I agree. I'm on that, because anytime we look at photos and we say, okay, that looks pretty good, and then we get it in hand, it's always better. Like, again, you're seeing it already, right? You're seeing the photos. You can't change the way you see that. That's not doctored, right? That's the sculpt. That's the body. Yes, there may be some, color grading going on and the different lighting with, and the photography, but that's the figure. And any figure we ever get that looked amazing in a photo and we get it in hand, we're like, dude, we're blown away by it. When you can hold that, 2 feet away from your eyes and like really get to turn it around and appreciate it in the third dimension, as it were, dude. Yeah. No, this is going to be a top 10 for sure this year.
All right, look at the detail inside the helmet. It's like if you got the Stormtrooper, the Han Solo or Luke Skywalker disguise. I got the Han Solo Stormtrooper disguise, and they're actually going through that detail Here's a little knock on something I'm going to throw in. How come there's no showing Phillips head screw heads on the inside of that helmet? Listen, I love when they can come out with figures like Fennec, and they can come out with figures like this, and then they give me the armor, which is great. It's almost a 10. It's a 9.9. 9.8. It's like 0.2 of a point.
Right.
9.98. But listen, that so aggravates me that they did that. Give me $245. And really, one of these figures each is $247. Man, I love it. I don't mind that it took. Honestly, this didn't take long to come out, Anthony. This was just announced. Do you remember?
It was announced
Back
this,
in what,
I was going to
February
say
or
this
March
year,
this
but
year?
yeah, but now we're in 2022. But yeah, it hasn't even been. So yeah, I think you're right. I think it was announced. Hell, if we looked, you know what? Let me look it up. I'll be able to tell you. But yeah, less than a year. It's less than a year.
Yeah.
Because what I like to do is I go to Hot Toys' site, and then I just search on their site, like on their Facebook page. And if we scroll down, February 18th,
okay,
2021.
February 18th
is when Hot Toys posted their 29 pictures and announced this. This was their figure announcement, February 28th. And it is now January 5th. So yeah, 11 months from announcement to final product.
Wow. And hold that thought for a minute. Metamorphic Customs in the house with the new logo. That new logo is awesome, baby. I saw that on Facebook earlier today. Desi in the house. They detailed the inside of the helmet. That's awesome. Listen, I got a special thing being made by for one of my Darth Maul figures by Desi. And if you guys are looking for, base toppers, dioramas, listen, you've got to check out Metamorphic Customs. He was on the Aries Tarrington show too. Everyone I've had on the Aries Tarrington show so far is inside the cantina tonight. Just go to sixscalecantina.com. Go to the resources and links page. Desi's right there to link to his Facebook. Go on there, boom, you'll get right to it. You got to check out this guy's work, but he knows about that work. We've got Maz's toy box in the house. Good to see Maz in here, waiting to give me a shipping confirmation on this guy. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are, Maz, for sure, that are waiting on that. Absolutely crazy. So with this figure here, yeah, is it going to be more? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's kind of related. The quarter scale Boba Fett Hot Toys on eBay now is anywhere between 10 to 1,500 listed.
You talk about 1,000 to 1,500.
Yeah, I'm looking at, if you're looking up that quarter scale, QS003. I was curious, as I imagine most people would be, right? They're like, oh, you know what? Let me see how that quarter scale's doing. And it was pretty high, but
I'm telling you right now, everybody who's watching, with 156 in here, please hit the like button. Is it possible on the market value chart and within the secondary market that the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett, deluxe and non-deluxe, is going to go through the roof? And I say, yes. Look, just the way they started this off when he was in the Sarlacc pit, in the pit of Sarlacc there, was absolutely mesmerizing and epic for me with that first episode of the Book of Boba Fett. And you have to wonder, with that taking place after Return of the Jedi, what is going to go on with that figure, Anthony? It was trending down a little bit, but I've been saying for months and months that it's going to go up. It is showing signs now of skyrocketing due to this show. And forget about the 40th anniversary vintage Boba Fett. That's just about hit over 400 now. So it's only going to be before long before that goes up where the animated Fett is. Forget about the reissue of the Empire Strikes Back Deluxe, because that's almost at $400. But I've been calling that with all those 40th anniversaries for months. But listen, how high can that Return of the Jedi, both versions, go?
Up there. I'm gonna say it because I mean, look what happened. Now I know he's no Luke Skywalker. I don't think anybody will be Luke Skywalker, but when Luke popped up in Mando, those Luke figures, man, the deluxe Return of the Jedi and the original Return of the Jedi. I mean, hell, even New Hope Luke, all the Lukes. I mean, and they're still up there. I look on your website, like they're still up there. Like those are $550, $100 figures. Like, so Boba, yeah, especially if they're doing them right, all that stuff's going on. And the thing is I only have one Boba Fett, and I don't know if you can see him back here, right there. And I have the vintage Boba Fett. That's my only Boba Fett. Because at the time, you know how it goes. Like, I don't like getting a lot of the same figures sometimes when there's so many cool figures coming. Mm-hmm. So vintage was the only one I grabbed. And not that I'm kicking myself for it, but because I was going to get the 40th, and animated, but animated just went crazy. So I was like, well, that's not an option anymore. But I'm stoked now. I think that vintage is good enough for me. That represents not only my Boba Fett, but just growing up at the time.
I've called it for a while, Anthony, with all the Boba Fett. I actually see a reissue. I actually see a 2-pack coming of vintage color Boba Fett and the animated Boba Fett in some special exclusive 2-pack. I think it would go off the charts because right now, some people are kicking themselves for missing out on that vintage color Boba Fett. I don't know,
vintage,
but I think it's awesome. But you're going to get a ton of that. But Fob's Figures puts it: if you need a diorama, message me first. Once you pay the finder's fee, you get direct access to Desi, baby. Come on. Listen, Fabio Land is the link to him is within the links to the resources page as well. Are you kidding me? That's so funny. Always good to have Fabio in the house for sure. Pull this up over here. Yeah, dude. I am just. I know we got to get into talking about the Book of Boba Fett. Non-spoiler. What blew you away? Well, I think I know the answer to that. The figure blew me away more. It's hard though. It's hard. Okay, so listen. While we got this up on the screen, let's talk about it. Non-spoiler. How impressed were you generally? Without spoiling it for you. Just in a general, how good was episode 2 of the Book of Boba Fett to you?
If I was gonna just gauge it as a one episode, right, like a one-off, I'd say it was like an 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I need to. It's hard with shows like this. They're serialized. This is going to be a 7-part story that's concurrent with the previous one. So it built upon some more lore on several facets of the Star Wars universe. In my opinion, we've come to find, like you said, there's cousins. The more about the geography of where they are and the cultures that take place here. And what was interesting was later on with more towards the end of the flashback stuff, we're seeing these other factions. I was pleased with the lore and the world building more than anything. I did enjoy the action. Again, this is much more action packed than the first episode, but I'm just enjoying the ride, man. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and without giving anything away at all, what this episode showed me, well, besides the beginning of episode 1 when he was in the Sarlacc pit, to start that way.
Yeah, that was good.
Showed me a lot, but I followed the breadcrumbs in this episode of Favreau and Filoni, and I'm telling you right now, in the future, and whether it's episode 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, some of the predictions that we were talking about last year, are we going to maybe get a Han Solo, which the rumor is that they have already signed Harrison Ford to do some de-aging content like Mark Hamill did. What would they be using him for? You're seeing, to see Chewbacca, there could
And
be some
Chewie's
hope with
easy.
that. You can see some hope with that now. When you're talking about all the different scenes, like just go to episode 1 where he's flashbacking and he has Jango Fett's helm. They're showing on Camino and then or wherever where they're showing the Boba Fett young holding his father's helmet.
Right.
I really think, and for me personally, it's telling me, is it possible we're going to see Cad Bane? Is it possible we're going to see Cobb Vanth? Is it possible we're going to see Mayfield? Is it possible we're going to see Mace Windu? Is it possible we're going to see Han Solo? Is it possible we're going to see Chewbacca? Is it possible a bunch more? And I say yes. But here's what I like what they're doing with this. I feel like that they're really taking the time to explain how Boba Fett survived the pit of Sarlacc. And they're actually doing, in my opinion, a bang up job with it. I'm not going to talk about anything of what they did today, but they're doing a bang up job explaining that. And on the other side, building up what's going on currently with Boba Fett and Fennec. And that's where I'm putting the breadcrumbs together, Anthony, that I really, really think that I think some people, when you see this today, if you're like me, you're going to get blown away with this episode from what you see, fan service wise. I really, really do. I think you're going to get blown away fan service. We're not going to tell you anything, but you're going to get blown away. But you're going to start thinking about what the hell could be coming up then in 3. What the hell could be coming up in 4? What could be coming up in 5? What could be coming up in 6? What could be coming up in 7? Come on.
Well, here's my thought on that real quick on that. Because of fan service, I want to say it's good fan service, right? I was talking about this before on previous streams as well, and just my personal opinion. It's because I think that Filoni and Favreau, they understand, man, they're fans of Star Wars, and they respect the lore and the world building, and they do a phenomenal job at it. So to me, I know some people say, "Oh, fan service, like it's a bad thing," but if done right, I think it's amazing. This is giving the fans what they want, but without they're not bending to a demographic per se, right? They understand what the fans want to see, and they're fans themselves. So I think it's great. I think it's great fan service. Now, I don't know. Here's the thing, though. I don't think they're going to have everybody. Of course they're not. Of course they're not going to have everybody that you just mentioned in the show. But as cool as that would be, I think it would take away from Boba.
But you never know. You never know.
But one of those at least got to be coming, right?
I think so.
Because you want to have the story's focused on Boba Fett. So I don't want a bunch of cameos to
and they're doing that thunder right now. I feel like that they're doing that very well right now, dude.
Yeah, I agree. What we've seen so far is perfect. We are getting some cool things going on without spoiler stuff, and it's not taken away from it. It's furthering the story. And I just couldn't believe that people weren't that into the first episode. I mean, I expect everybody's opinion, but I loved the first one. The second one's badass.
For me was the beginning. It was he's in the freaking Sarlacc pit. I mean, that's everything you could want. This is funny. Listen, Desi, it looks like, is it possible, Anthony, that it's not supposed to be Jabba or Bib Fortuna or Boba Fett on the throne, but it should be Desi from Metamorphic Customs, because he's got Fabio, and now he's got Finder's Fees, he's got Dante from Anaha Collectibles, he's got the whole community. So it's maybe Desi. It's going to go ahead and battle Boba Fett. But listen, Dante's still in the house. Is it possible that I will be on his live show this coming Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern? And I say yes. So book that on your calendars with 150 in here. We will be live on the Man of Hot Collectibles show this coming Friday evening at 8:30 p.m. You don't want to miss that. I'm sure he's going to be talking about a ton about Pennywise and nothing about the 2-pack of Boba Fett.
I know, right? Hey, no, I'll be there too. So we'll make sure we steer him in the right course.
Anthony will all be there.
No more Pennywise. We're done with Pennywise.
Listen, I don't want to hear about Pennywise or Nickel Smart or JC Petty. I want to talk about the Boba Fett 2-pack, Dante. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else. Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's just too funny. Um, look, dude. Uh, as I'm just putting these pictures up while we're talking about the Book of Boba Fett, spoiler free, I do feel like that they're giving a great mix of fan service while also establishing the story and keeping it about who they're keeping it about. I want to talk a little bit about, is it Ming Ya Wen? Did I say that right for Fennec Shand? Is that the
Yeah.
actress's? Okay. Man, she is awesome, dude. I want to
Dude.
talk to you. I want to ask your opinion. Forget about her action figure, which I'm so stoked to get because of how good it looks and how good. I mean, that outfit is awesome that she's wearing on the show. How
Yeah.
good of an actress is this woman? I mean, I absolutely, without saying anything for today, I thought she was kick ass today.
I think she's filling her role. Yeah, I'll just leave it that way. Because
she's awesome.
Because how she was kind of introduced, and in Mando, and then seeing her in the first episode, I like that she's not. I'll say this, and I don't think it takes away from the story or spoil anything, but I like how she's kind of. Would you even consider saying backseat? I don't want to say she's backseat to Boba, but she's not front and center, but she's still integral. And I like that because when the show came out, I thought it was going to be
I feel like she's Spock to Kirk.
Yeah, because I thought it was going to be a Fennec and Boba show at first, first impressions, but it's very much a Boba Fett show. And she's integral to that. But yeah, I like what they're doing with her. I especially like the first episode where she was just like, well, I'll keep one of them, alive. We don't need both, and she's just brutal. And I love where they're going with this with her. Dude, she's phenomenal, man. She's great being his right hand man, like you said. The Spock, this Kirk and Spock is perfectly said.
All right. Do you see a scenario in the upcoming episodes where the armor changes? So right now, I've got a couple of different hot toys. Looking at this hot toy here, which got completely. We're still talking about this hot toy. We're going to be talking about it the whole show, and we're talking non-spoiler, non-spoilers with the second episode, which also had both of us spill our coffee. So I will tell you this. I see so far perhaps a couple of different versions that we can get of Boba Fett right now. They could even go a few different versions. They can just go with him walking around Tatooine like he did episode 1 and taking off his helmet. They can give you another clean armor version. Probably with that, because the head sculpt would be slightly different because he doesn't look like the way he looks at the end when he first sat on the throne. He's got the eyebrows now, the face has been cleaned up because of the back to tank, so on and so forth. I think you can maybe get something with that back to tank as well. I think you could get something from Return of the Jedi 2 when he comes out of the Sarlacc pit right in the sand there. So I don't know. I think that's a couple of options, but do you see a scenario here where he is going to alter the paint job on his armor, or he's going to have different sets of armor like Iron Man?
Well, I think we'd all be lying to ourselves if we said this is the only outfit we're going to see from him. I don't think
I mean, in this season. In this
season. I don't think they're going to go all Iron Man on it, because we got 5 episodes left, but I think we were going to probably see at least one more variation of the outfit.
Will it be a complete change from this outfit, or will it be an additional outfit that they need for a second mission?
I don't know. That's tough, right? Because you don't want to disconnect Boba Fett, right? Because if he's wearing something that's unrecognizable, it's not usually how they roll, right? Like Spider-Man, for example. Like he's always Spider-Man. You can see it's Spider-Man, but the outfit's different. So with that said, it's still going to be. I think he's still
more the original one, like at the end of this. No Way Home. You know what I'm. Yeah, but You're right. It does have to be identifiable. So I actually think he would have an alternate suit.
They could, if they were doing a thing like the Mando and Mayfield, where they were kind of disguised as transport troopers. Maybe not that extent, but what you're saying is he's not actually in like Mandalorian armor. Maybe he's wearing something different.
Well, let me ask you this. In your opinion, dude, are they going to be on Tatooine the whole time? And if they go off Tatooine, before you answer that, if they go off Tatooine, is it just going to be for a little bit? Or is something brewing over here to throw us for a loop? What say you?
At first, when we first saw the trailer, that was my thoughts. I was thinking, you know what? This is probably just footage from the first episode. They're probably going to leave off world. He does have Slave One, right? So you would think they'd be out flying somewhere. But after 2 episodes, I don't know. Because now there's more conflict here in present, not just the flashbacks, but now new conflicts are arising that take place here. Or are they Mos Espa? I forget, but on Tatooine. So, and I don't know.
I think he's going to go off. I think it's going to go off what we're thinking. I think something is going to happen.
Do you think he's going to go back to Camino?
Let me ask you a serious question. And Seth, thank you so much for the super chat. So we don't give away any spoilers. I think the furry creature he's talking about is Wicket, right? Yeah, Wicket showed up in in episode 2, or maybe it was Watto. He's kind of furry, right? I guess Watto is a little bit, or Sabul. But thank you so much, Seth. Yeah, I mean this episode was absolutely epic. But I mean, let me ask you this question. If you're in the business of trying to take over, you're thinking your lot in life now is, oh, I take over for Jabba, I killed Bib Fortuna, right? I'm going to go do this. But you still have flashbacks. You still dream, obviously. You still bothers you. You still are not over the way your dad died. And his head gets cut off in front of him, and he does all that. If there's even an inkling that Mace Windu is alive, does your focus change if you're Boba Fett or in that scenario where you're doing something and you just found the person? Okay. So that answers the question.
He'd get up and go.
That then he's not going to care.
Yeah, because this could be a scenario where he's in a cantina and somebody comes over and whispers something, your father's killer is still alive or something, whatever, right? It sparks some kind of interest, and now all of a sudden he's on this other quest, whether it's vengeance or just curiosity. Maybe the guy's full of shit, but it's too important to him to dismiss. So now all of a sudden what he's doing here no longer, it takes a back seat. If they decide to do that, right? If they decide to do that. Now, the thing that I was wondering though, and I don't think it's a spoiler, but at one point he mentions something about, taking somebody out, and somebody says, that you would need permission to do that or something to that effect. And that makes me feel like there's somebody else higher up within this whole cartel situation, right? That we have not seen yet or anything like that. So that could be something that also leads them maybe off world. I don't know. It's just my brain's just kind of circling. And like I said, I don't know. It's hard to talk about it without, getting into too much details, but yeah, he could be there. That could be a reason to go off world. And that's the thing too. If you think about it, we get flashbacks, right? We're getting flashbacks with Tusken Raiders. But you're right, we're getting these dream sequences too, though, where he's having memories of him as a child, which is unrelated to the flashbacks.
Right, and so let me ask you this: for you're obviously an intelligent collector. You're an intelligent human being.
Well,
put yourself in the shoes of Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. What is the purpose of putting, like we saw in episode 1? What is the purpose of showing Jango Fett? What is the purpose of showing that?
Well, they're foreshadowing something,
right?
Yeah, that's the gist of it. That's because otherwise,
you don't want to disturb a bee's nest, right? If it's
right,
they know Star Wars fans.
Well, and not only that, the show's expensive to make. You're going to be putting in this footage. It's like, why are you putting in this footage when we could be focusing on the story?
Yeah.
So this is story. We just don't know what the hell's going on with it yet.
And here's a real interesting thing. Is it possible that that's the same thing they're going to do with The Mandalorian season 3? Because there's some, and I've talked about this before, and obviously this show, we're talking about Boba Fett, all things Boba Fett here, because it's just absolutely epic day. And don't forget to hit that like button if you're in here. 147 in here. Thank you so much for watching the Aries Tarrington show live. Listen, is it possible that the rumor that Grogu and the DH Luke, which is supposedly signed Mark Hamill for more of those parts, or he signed it, and specifically he's working with the puppet Grogu. He's supposed to be working with Rosario Dawson because he's investigating. He has a purpose. She's going to look probably to reel him in for some help with Thrawn. He's interested in finding out what happened here with Order 66. That's the other rumor. So now everything's tying in. Why Favreau? Why Filoni? Why bring up Order 66? They didn't have to say Grogu was a part of that. They didn't have to say that, Anthony. Why would they say that unless they have an ulterior motive, these guys?
Because they are geniuses at world building.
Well,
and they respect the lore.
Yeah. So I think when we're predicting, we need to follow breadcrumbs on what actually is going to happen. I think sometimes, and not sometimes, it's hard to predict Hot Toys, right? Because they kind of sometimes you go follow the breadcrumbs and then they come out of left field. I think Favreau and Filoni, for the most part, they facilitate a little bit of dream, a little bit of imagination, a little
that's
bit
what
of
we fell in love with to begin with, right?
Man,
Masters of their craft.
Yeah, I need those Tuskens to go with my Tusken Boba. Dude,
Star Wars sparked that imagination in us.
Let's actually go to Sideshow and let's see how long where do you think this is going to go? How much does the final production photos here help this figure go up the best-selling list? I'm going to go to the Sideshow right now. We're going to sort everything out best-selling wise. Let's take a look at where everything is, Six Scale Mafia. And we'll see if Fennec is still number one. And I would imagine that she would be, and she still is. So this just got released today. How long do you think how high do you think that this 2-pack is going to go? Wow.
Well, he's at 8 now. And listen, I'm going to tell you, when I
was looking he was nowhere near 8, dude. He was nowhere near 8.
He was 12. Because while we were talking about a half hour ago, I didn't bring it up, but I looked. I did exactly what you did, and it was only Star Wars, and he was 12. 11 was Throne. And that's when I was looking up the quarter scale as well.
Well, he was below Arbor and Kylo with Ahsoka the other day. So this
but when I looked like a half hour ago, he was 12. Now he's 8.
All right. So give me a prediction here. Where do you think this is going to go?
Maybe he dips. Okay, no, he's
8.
Still 12. Oh no, he is. You were seeing this. Yeah, he's 8. Yeah, he was 12. Now he's 8.
Okay, give me a prediction. Where is this going to go?
Top 4.
Will it go number 1?
That first row. Yeah. Look, if it goes number 1, Fennec's number 2.
If it goes number 1, this figure ain't lasting.
Yeah.
It's absolutely not lasting. And that Fennec, I pointed it out before, dude. This Fennec goes with this 2-pack. Exactly. Perfectly goes with that 2-pack. As in a matter of fact, let me actually throw in Marvel and DC on here to see what if anything changes with Fennec. Nope.
No.
Okay. Well, it's going to be Spider. I'm not even going to put in DC.
Obviously Spider-Man, because the movie is hot.
Hot. But she's hotter. That's weird. She's hot. This 2-pack Boba Fett. Wow, it's going to pass Luke. Let's get Marvel out of here. Let's put this back to Star Wars.
Hell, it's still on the first page with Marvel in there.
Yeah, it sure as heck is. Dude, it goes with this figure. This 2-pack goes with this figure. Has anybody received, pulling up this Boba Fett 2-pack, I'm going to pull it up on the screen from Sideshow. Has anyone received any sort of shipping notice yet? Let me know in the chat. Anthony, have you heard anything about that?
No, I haven't heard anything about it, and I hadn't pre-ordered him. Simply because I'm just not a pre-order guy.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing as far as me getting emails or anybody I know within my circle. No one's mentioned anything. So
I pre-ordered this like the day one, so I should be getting something. Do you think Sideshow is going to come out with like Guy Klender or one of those guys and unboxing? Have they yet?
Well, Lael just said that he has in the chat.
Oh, Lael's in the chat. Lael,
yeah,
welcome
Lael's in the
there.
chat. Oh yeah, I didn't know if you've seen him there earlier, but Lael's here. He says he has just now.
Wow. So let me see if I could find that chat, and I got another super chat I got to get to. 16 Scale Mafia in the house. I have.
Okay, so Scale Man.
16 Scale Man, right? Well, I got you on the brain, dude.
I know we're all here, right?
6 Scale, 16 Scale Man in the house, Lael. Looking forward to getting on one of his shows and getting him on a bunch of market chart shows here this month. It's great. So, Lael, when you say you have, does that mean that he's actually seen that Sideshow's put out a video?
Oh no, I think maybe he might have been referring to like an email notice, or I'm not going to speak for him. I'll let him because I don't know either.
Lael, let me know. Did you receive a notice, or did you see that there was a Sideshow?
I will say Sideshow has not did not do an unboxing yet though. The last video that they put out was a
Toys Wonderland. Okay, Toys Wonderland.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, shipping from Toys Wonderland, yeah, for sure, because first batch or whatnots. But Sideshow, no, I don't think they're. I don't know how. I don't think they didn't definitely have a simultaneous, right? Because they didn't put out a video like they've been doing lately.
Yeah, single songwriter, no video from the mothership. I also okay, that's very, very interesting. I want to put Lael back up here again. Doesn't Lael have a live show sometime here tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to be on there in a half hour.
Right. So I want to plug it. So listen, everybody that's in here, once I'm going to get off before 9:00, and you want to definitely check out Lael. Is a good friend of mine. We've been doing some things together here the last couple of months, which I've been enjoying a lot. Looking to do a lot more. Check him out. 16 Scale Man. When's he going live? Like 9:00?
Yeah, I think like 9:15.
Yeah, so definitely check him out tonight. You guys will have shows all night. Can't wait to hear his perspective on this for sure. Yeah, that's crazy. So do you think, and I see your super chat, Fig Fate. I'm going to get to it. Let me put this screen back. So, dude, wow, I can't believe where this is sitting at number 8 already. Okay. Is this going to be one of those scenarios where maybe it does, like Toys Wonderland is putting it out, and we're gonna, Sideshow is gonna, maybe they didn't get this. I actually think that they probably have this in stock, and you might get a video from them, an unboxing tomorrow. What do you think?
Yeah, it's possible, because correct me if I'm wrong, because I believe I was awake last night. When did they announce this? Because usually I see the announcements at night, because they pop around like 9:30 my time. And unless I was just zoned out, because I'm not feeling well, and I was just kind of YouTubing and whatnot last night. But no, even on streams and stuff, I correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I don't think this popped at night. So usually
I checked. And I went to, I don't know what time I went to bed. It was late, but it wasn't out yet.
Yeah, because I literally I woke up at like 2 or 3 in the morning to go to the bathroom.
I woke up and I saw my phone. I said, "Oh,
yeah." I checked my phone and I was like, "Oh." I fell back asleep. I was like, "Was that a dream? Did Boba Fett come out?" So I don't. Yeah. So with that said, right, if it was a night release, Sideshow usually lately has been instantly putting up a video. Interestingly,
surprised that they didn't yet. I wonder if it's going to go the opposite way or back to the old thing. I actually don't think it will. I actually suspect maybe tomorrow we're gonna get
You might be
that,
right. You might be right, because that'd be the first one in a hot minute that they haven't done
because listen,
since they started doing this.
a lot of people, they're gonna, if it's available at Toys Wonderland, go get it, baby. I mean, it's gonna be like
Oh yeah, I mean,
people don't want
Leo's
to
got
wait
his
2 seconds
coming.
for this.
Brother
They don't
Cousins
want to
has
wait
his
2
coming.
seconds for this. Brother Cousins got his coming.
Dante's got his coming.
Dante's got his coming. You have to wonder. I wonder.
I'm just
I would
broke, so I
have
gotta
to
wait.
think if we go here. And I'm going to get to your super chats there. I see a couple. I see them, guys, just kind of talking through this real quick. Pulling this back up on the screen. I wanted to pull up the Fennec to show how it goes with this figure. But look right here. Ships January to February. I would imagine, obviously, they're not waiting 3 months for this and just selling it overseas. I would imagine. I was actually surprised that I didn't get, this is going to be shipping soon. I would not be shocked if I get something this week from Sideshow.
Yeah.
That they're going to start. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
It's just weird because Rex took a while for people, but then we had Lando and some Shore Troopers, and I don't recall what else, just briefly this past couple months. That was pretty quick. Like within 1 week of Hot Toy announcement, the following week they were shipping Sideshow. But then again, Rex didn't, so I don't know.
Yeah. Fig Fate puts in $5. Thank you so much for the $5 bomb. My case of FOMO has been getting more severe the longer I watch this episode.
It's pretty dope.
Well, listen. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe the Hot Toys Wizard will come back someday as TK FOMO. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, no, dude, there's going to be a lot of stuff. And I wanted to ask you this, Anthony. Yeah. Going back, and thank you so much, Fig Fate. And we have some other ones to get to over here. 16 Scale Man. 16 Scale Man dropping the bomb. What's going on, buddy? Putting this on over here with the $5 bomb. Thank you so much, Derlale. Much appreciated. It was released after Book of Boba Fett.
Okay, right after the episode aired. Real quick too, Aries, Lael did say you're more than welcome to come on tonight as well if you have time.
Okay, awesome. I will absolutely try and do that and pop on it. What'd you say it was, 9:15?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Lael. I will see if I'm able to do that, brother. And I'll have to talk with the Mrs. Hot Toys Wizard, because I don't know. She maybe that's not my wife and it's the actual Hot Toys Wizard that's in disguise. But I much appreciate the invite. I'd love to do it. We'll see if we can pull that off. But yeah, so Lael's saying it was released after the Book of Boba Fett. Wow.
Well, that even further confirms my suspicions, because I was like, this is the coincidence of coincidences. If they released this figure with this episode, but now to know that they actually put it out deliberately after it aired as well. Yeah, this was planned.
All right, so Lael putting this down is a big thing, because I'll tell you what. I feel like Sideshow's still going to put this out tomorrow or the next day. I feel like Hot Toys and Disney, they were like, put this out with episode 2.
Yeah.
And not so much, you can't put this out until Guy or somebody from Sideshow does the unboxing. I think that took precedent. So I think that they matched it with the show, from what Lael was saying here. It's available now, but I think within 24 to 72 hours, you're probably going to see the Sideshow video, if not tomorrow, dude.
Yeah, they're just probably going to play catch up, because it wasn't released at not, because at 9:30 my time is 8:30 Sideshow time. So, you know what I mean? Now, if this happened there, that's like 3 a.m. for them. Not to say that they couldn't have pre-recorded it and scheduled it to go live at that time, but yeah, I think you're probably right. We're going to probably see a video in the next day or two.
Received Rex last week. It's awesome, Maximum Rex. Commander Crook puts in, I magically received Rex in the first batch. It's a figure I couldn't wait for. I got that from overseas as well, like immediately, as people are like, hey, you got that quick. I'm like, hey, it's Rex. And I'm kind of wondering. I've got it pre-ordered this 2-pack with Sideshow, brother. So I'm actually hoping that this, because I really don't want to wait for this. But I think that that's what's going to happen. It's not just wishful thinking. I really do. And I think that they probably made sure that they released this with the show more than in coinciding with Sideshow's unboxing. But I pretty much, we'll have to see if they put that out. It'll be very interesting. But I'm actually going to make a call now. And I'm going to say, is it possible that this 2-pack Boba Fett will be the #1 selling Star Wars hot toy? And I say yes. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's going to go #1 over everything. I don't know how long it's going to stay there at that price point. And Fennec will still stay where she is for a couple of weeks anyway. But pulling this up on the screen, I can't believe that you just looked at it before the show.
Yeah. I try to do
12,
my
now
homework,
moved to
bro.
8.
You know, it's we're
Probably
passionate
after
about
Lael's
these
show.
things.
Yeah, probably after Lael's show it'll be 4, and then tomorrow it'll be 1.
Yeah.
But look, she doesn't just go, dude. She doesn't just go. This figure's still money, man.
Dude, yeah, money for sure. You're right. She can go with that 2-pack Boba. She can go with Boba on the throne.
Yeah, she hasn't even showed this robot guts armor.
Yeah. She can go with Mando. She can go with Mando and 2-pack Boba. And, you know what I mean? They're all mixed together, man. It's great.
Yeah. And that's why I want to try and point out over here with but now that I'm bringing it up, I actually can't stop looking at the
I know.
I mean, this is the scene. They're trying to show the scenes from episode 6 of The Mandalorian season 2. Am I incorrect on that?
No, yeah, this is the where they're defending Jin on with Grogu.
Yeah.
When Moff comes and whatever, and the troopers come, and was that episode 6? I think, because 5 was Ahsoka.
Still can't get over this head sculpt, dude.
No, they're killing it. They're killing it, man. They're this, and not just Star Wars, just Hot Toys in general. They're killing it with these sculpts.
Yeah. Let's see if I can go ahead and bring this back. So here, listen, this is how we're going to close it up. I'm gonna bring this back in here, and I gotta actually share. I gotta remove this, so bear with me, Anthony, as I pull it back up. Bud. And see if I'll stop that screen, and then I gotta share this screen here, and that pulls it back up. But dude, give me your final thoughts on this release, dude.
I'll say this. If Hot Toys keeps coming out with this caliber of figure, and what I mean by that is the sculpt, the accessories, the outfits, never mind the fact that it's a 2-pack, because that's not, let's be real, that's not a common thing, right? But when they bring out this level all across the board, as what I just mentioned, and loaded with accessories, that's the types of stuff that I love. If they keep doing that, dude, they got my money for sure. Like, like I said, this is gonna be a grail no matter what, no matter how you slice it. And I love that. I love when we don't get that often in general when we get a hot toy where they come with a lot of stuff, and the cohesiveness around it, like you'd mentioned, with Fennec. I mean, these guys can all go together. You can have a lot of different options if you're into posing, making videos, taking photos. Like, this is a big deal for me. It's very similar to the Thor Ragnarok, the Gladiator Thor that came out a while ago. I have that, and the reason I love the outfit and I love that movie, but he was loaded. He came with so much stuff. That's what I'm looking for in Hot Toys. I love when you give me something that checks all the boxes, in my opinion, and I think this one does.
This is one of the most epic releases I've ever seen, and as we talked about earlier in the show, 1/6 scale, man. Now I'm getting 6 Scale Mafia, and now I'm getting you both confused.
It's okay.
But Mafia, as we talked about earlier in the show, you actually got out a couple of figures, Peter Cushing and Alec Guinness,
Yeah,
and you were looking at them in hand, and you were having a hard time justifying that they were better than what you're
they're
looking
still
at
here,
here.
man. They're still here for people who haven't seen them. And
You pull it up, pull it up.
as all right, as amazing as they look, right? They're great sculpts. I'm not gonna lie, they're great sculpts.
They're awesome.
But man, this Boba is just killing it. You know, it's just it's killing it.
Yeah, I mean, and then we talked about actual figure sets and just figures in general. I'm finding up. Look at that dude.
I know.
I know.
That's what I'm talking
Captain
about. Those
Rex is
cool
coming to
accessories
mind.
like that.
Cody's coming to mind. Captain Rex is coming to mind. The DX-16, the Solo Maul's an awesome figure. Han Solos are coming to mind. The Dark Side Anakin. I don't know, dude. This may be the best Hot Toys Star Wars release ever.
It is. It is. I'm gonna say it because it's weird when we're looking at things now, right? And we forget that because we're humans, so our perspective is ever changing. And right now we're in the now, and we look at this thing now. We're like, yo, this is great. It's readily available. And now imagine if we're talking we're talking in the past now, and we're talking about like these figures. Like I said, our perspective changes, and it's that. Can we predict that this is a grail now? It doesn't feel like it because it's live. We can buy it. It's readily available. And then a lot of people are like, well, maybe I'll grab it later. And then they forget, or they skip it and they sleep on it or whatever. A couple years goes by, they come back. They're like, oh my God, this is like a masterpiece, and I wish I would have grabbed it then. And I'm not trying to build hype here. I'm being real. I think you're on the money. I don't think there's a better right now, just from what we've seen, dude. This is top tier. This is a top tier figure.
Yeah, I am. I just think like this is. I spilled all my coffee today with this. I mean, this is just absolutely incredible. And when we look at that dude,
It's pretty rad.
That is just. And I think that, if I'm going to pull this up again, is there any possibility that this is not figure of the year for Star Wars in 2022? Now, this just came out. So what is today? January 5th. So it came out January 5th. So last year, if you remembered, in 2021, Anthony, the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian came out on January 1st. That did make a lot of people's top 10. There were some other figures that people put ahead of it, but it was still very, very good. But I'm pulling down this list over here, sorting this out. All Star Wars Hot Toys again. And, going down this list on what could come out this year, there's only one figure that comes to mind. There are actually a couple. Which ones here can top this? Is it the chrome-plated Mandalorian? Is it
That
the
or
Luke
Luke?
Skywalker?
Just
How about
because
the
of the
Jango?
popularity of them.
How about the freaking Jango, dude?
Yeah, that Jango's good, man. That Jango's good, but I don't think it's Boba 2-pack good.
Yeah, how about that freaking Ahsoka? Listen, now that I answered the question, this gets really freaking hard.
Yeah,
I mean, look,
we got a long year. Hell, Moff
up.
Gideon too, right?
Yeah, Moff Gideon. It's going to look absolutely freaking incredible. But I'm just pulling this up on the screen. I mean, how nuts are people going to be when this comes out? Because this is freaking Ahsoka.
Yeah, this is the one I'm more looking forward to, personally, because I
Man.
never really got into the Clone Wars. I haven't finished it. Yeah, maybe it's a generational thing. I don't know. I'm working my way through it, but
this is a DX too. This is a DX.
Yeah. She's sweet looking. I love it. This is the one I can't wait for.
This is going to be, I think, the hardest year to pick a top 10, to actually come up with number one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
because,
you're right.
I mean, look at this dude.
And it's not final product yet either, so we don't know.
Look at this. Oh, my goodness. and it's a DX.
Yeah.
All right, so you mentioned a couple of other ones here. Even that freaking Jango Fett, which is a Tamara Morrison head sculpt. But not like they totally redid this one for obviously the Mandalorian. Okay, well, we know it's not going to be the Blurg. That'll be the figure of the year. It might be for some people. Who
Some
knows?
Blurg fanatics,
some
man.
Blurb. Yeah, where is that? You mentioned it before. Where is it here? The Luke.
He's right up top. There he is. Yeah, he's pretty high up on the list. Because a lot of people missed out on Return of the Jedi Luke, and then the Return of the Jedi Deluxe Luke, which is I'm one of them. I need that Endor Luke.
This head sculpt's muddy, dude.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into the whole argument of it's deep. It doesn't matter. It looks exactly as he did on the freaking show.
Yeah, they nailed it for that.
They absolutely. I mean, wow. It's gonna be
new
hard.
sculpt, new hair, new body. Accessories, we got that Dark Trooper base. That's sweet. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely picking this up. It's Luke. There's no question.
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to pick. Wow, that's dude. I feel like. Do you feel like Hot Toys, if nothing else, are getting better with their fabric? Like they're giving us better quality, and they're getting better with these
to
head
some
sculpts.
Degree, yes. I will say the majority, yes, but to the others, no. I think they've cut some corners lately, but the majority of it, yes. The quality, again, I go back to First Avenger Cap because he's just a perfect example of it. You can't move that figure, man. That fabric sucks. The shoulder pads stink. I mean, he's super restrictive. So when I go back to that, he's kind of like my benchmark. Granted, it's been 10 years, but that's the point. When you go through the timeline, they are getting better and better and better. Some things they lack on, but they've improved so much. What's going to be in 10 years when it's like 2030? Are we going to look back on this stuff and be like, oh, these suck? Look, I don't know.
Dude. Yeah, exactly. You mentioned Moff Gideon. Giancarlo Stanton here. Do you know, is it possible that the Dark Jedi thinks that when the final production photos come out, that this freaking thing is going to be just the bomb? And I say, yes. It's going to be so hard. Is it going to be this 2-pack Boba Fett? Is it going to be Moff Gideon? Is it going to be the Ahsoka? Is it going to be the Luke? I'm not even through all of them yet. This is because you're going to have to already fiddle with these in your top 5.
Oh, it's going to be a hard year. You're right about that.
I think this is awesome anyway. I don't know what you thought.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, and I never put a whole bunch of stock in the first, prototype photos, except that.
Right. Yeah, and it's a gamble. Sometimes they're better, sometimes they're worse than the prototype. The final product,
really
but
good.
I love it. You kidding me? Black and red. Look at the cape. I mean, it's Imperial. It's a mix of Imperial and Sith. In that sense.
Let me tell you the biggest. Yeah, let me tell you the biggest sleeper on this list. The biggest sleeper. The one that people are going to cry over, and it's going to be so high in the secondary market.
Oh yeah.
No one's bothering with these. No one's bothering with these. But you got Moff Gideon coming out. And look, I felt like when they announced this, that there were a lot of people that were almost putting this in the category of a sequels trooper. It's not. It's not a sequels trooper.
It's not.
This goes with freaking Luke. Dude,
and you can tell looking at it, it's got a little bit of elements of K2SO, a little bit of elements of IG-11. When you're looking at how these joints look, the elbows, the knees, the arms. I mean, just when you actually take a moment and look at this thing. Now, I don't know if those pieces are die cast yet.
No, they're not. I don't think they could change it. But they're not. Yeah,
I was thinking maybe the ratchets. I don't know. We don't know yet. But
you're thinking that it could have some in there?
Well, maybe just to keep it.
Did they
I
tell
don't.
us IG-11 was going to have some?
He has a little
Um,
bit.
but did they actually tell you in the description before it came
No,
out?
they never really talk about that
Really?
unless,
Oh
yeah,
wow,
unless
dude, they
that's
do
one
that.
thing. They're Hot Toys isn't as transparent as a lot of us would like them to be, and that's fine. They're privately owned. That's their business if they want to do it. But like with the exceptions of Iron Man's, they'll hit those pictures with their diecast brand logo to let you know. But with this, they wouldn't if there's a little bit of diecast in it. Does that make sense? They use it to reinforce some of these top heavy, figures and whatnot. So it's possible. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but either way, you're right. I think people are gonna sleep on these, because there's other figures, right? They're like, well, it's kind of like passing on a Stormtrooper, but you're right. It goes with Luke, goes with Moff Gideon. I'm getting two no matter what, because that's what I always do with these troopers. Like I like to pair them. I want two with Moff Gideon, and that's a wrap.
Hey, just want to make sure Lael, when are you going live? Or Anthony, do you know? I want to make sure I don't step over on him.
Yeah, in about 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Okay, so we
Yeah,
got we'll
so
wrap up here within next 10 minutes or so, or very quickly. But here's the thing people are forgetting, Lael. I mean, Anthony. Look who's in front of the Dark Troopers. There's going to be people who are not getting this that are going to be like, I'm going to get it. Matter of fact, I might get two. Oh, as a matter of fact, I got Moff Gideon. I'm going to put him with them too. I think these are sleepers. And if there's any hint, let me know in the chat if any of you would would absolutely get this if there are some diecast reinforced pieces in here. If there's some diecast in here, like the IG-11, is it possible, people in the chat, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, that would change your mind on this? What say you? What do you think, Anthony, of that question in general?
yeah, I mean, like I'm not. It's not fair for me to answer because I'm already gonna get them. But I will say this: I don't know if it's diecast, right? I don't know if there's anything in them, and I'm already gonna get them. If it turns out that there are some and they feel a little more sturdy, that would just make me feel even happier. So now, again, like I said, I can't speak for everybody's. Everybody's got their own tastes, but I think they're cool, and I think they're worth picking up if you can swing it, man. If you're a fan of Mando, not even just Star Wars, but just Mando or the whole Luke thing, I think they're great and they're unique. And like you said, they're gonna go the way, man. After a while, where they're gonna go up in price.
Lane, I see your super chat. We're going to get to them in just a second here before we close up. I want to bring this up on the screen. I've been talking about it the last few shows. I talked about it before the holidays, and some people thought that you would be able to get a bargain on this with the holidays coming. It went the complete opposite, Anthony. And just sold yesterday, $389.99. Rise of Skywalker Rey a Dio. This was a listing. There's listings US all over the place around 400 now. Overseas, forget about it. It's 500, and now you're starting to see it in the $600 tier range. I don't know if you've ever followed any of the overseas sellers, but when they start getting to $500-$600 on a single figure like this, you know that something's cooking.
Oh yeah, yeah. And we talked about this prior too, and you called it as well. That Rey, both Rey and Kylo, that was sleeper, man. And I think it might have been because of the most people's aversions to the sequel trilogy, but these final products were sweet. And if you wanted anything to represent that era of Star Wars, these were the two to get. And you know what? They both, if correct me if I'm wrong, but they didn't last very long either.
No, you're talking about like in stock?
Yeah, they didn't last very long.
3 weeks.
I got mine first batch.
Yeah. 3 weeks. It was gone.
Yeah, they went quick. So
completely quick. And look at this. The women are hot. Forget about the Leias. You know how hot they are in the secondary market. And I know our good friend there, 808 Michigan Jedi, just back from Monday night, he was telling me, and also on Facebook, on the chat over here too, from Monday night, that he got a great deal on that Leia, The Last Jedi. Look, don't sleep on those sequel figures of OG characters: Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Chewbacca. Those legacy, those OG characters from the sequels. I did an insider video about this. You can go check it out if you're an insider. Eventually, I'll talk more about it. They are 1000% future grails. You're not going to get a Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher figure like that. They're going to go up. But look at this here. Imperial Disguise Jyn Erso continues to go up, and one just sold here January 4th, Anthony. $600, best offer accepted. Don't know the seller, but 100% positive. So, even if you want to take 50 off that, which is unlikely, it's probably more like 20 on this seller. But that's a hefty price, dude.
I just reviewed this exact figure Saturday with Mario from Collecting Weekly on my channel. We were gonna.
Yeah, he's awesome. Can't wait to do another show with him.
Yeah,
I think I was on your show. He was on.
Yeah, man. Mario's great. So that's something that we were doing too. We were just gonna do these reviews where, since me and Mario have this whole line, we're gonna do Rogue One, and we started with that as our first episode was Imperial Jyn, and just kind of unbox, review, do some poses, talk about them, because man, those Rogue One lines are sweet.
All right, listen, last call here. We got 150 in here, but we got to start getting ready for Lail's show. Here's the last call. I'm serving everybody. Popsick on 5, Grogu on 5, all of you. Let's get Grogu filled up. Yeah, baby. And Lane says, could we get the female Tusken from Book of Boba Hot Toys? Look, Anthony, I don't know what your thoughts are, but again, we're going to close this up over here. Final thoughts on the Book of Boba Fett, episode 2. Final thoughts on this Boba Fett. We'll close it up. I don't see a scenario with how much they use the Tusken Raiders that they don't come out with a Tusken Raider figure from this show. I just don't see it. I agree. Yeah.
In fact, that was one of the things I did. I deliberately skipped the Mando Tusken Raider.
Mm-hmm.
One, I just thought he was too clean looking for my tastes, and two, I was like, well, Boba's coming. They're gonna be Raiders, and boy, am I happy that I waited. Because, like I said, I don't get every single Star Wars figure just because it has Star Wars on it. I get the ones that I really like, and while I do appreciate Tusken Raiders, again, I thought it was clean looking, and these guys, I didn't see these guys coming. They're sweet, man. So they're definitely, come on, that's a hot toy right there.
Desobrage, last call, 2 whiskey shots and 4. Listen, I just made more coffee because the Hot Toys wizard disguised as Ronda Rousey came in, but you couldn't hear her voice because she was using sign language, and I was going to try and get some information on the hot toy. It was all about coffee. Listen, I'm all out, but I've got whiskey. I've got spotchka. So listen, I'll put this on. This is the last call because I don't have any coffee left, but I have all this. And more pre-orders. Yeah, it's kind of an epic show. What an epic day. I really appreciate you coming on here, Anthony. So before we get into the last final thoughts, tell me what's going on your channel real quick.
Oh, all right. Well, again, thanks for inviting me on. It was great. I know this was kind of impromptu. We went live instead of pre-recorded, but awesome. Nonetheless, I'm glad we were here live, being able to chat with the community. What's going on with me is kind of, well, let's think. What is today? Wednesday. Well, I'm be on Lail's stream here shortly in 15 minutes. So kind of double header here tonight. And then tomorrow I'll be on Brother Cousins. Friday I'll be on Dante. Saturday I'll be on yours. Sunday I'll be on Will's. And then Monday is on my streams. So we're going to have and I believe you're going to be there with me on Monday.
Yes, I'm going to be on your show on Monday. I'm actually supposed to. I didn't get back to Jay. He's probably like, Aries, wait to get back. I'm going to try. I am going to be on his show tomorrow night. I know Lail invited me on tonight. I have to go see what's cooking with my wife upstairs if I'm able to do that tonight. But if not, Lail and I are going to be doing a bunch together coming up, or I could do the next one. I usually don't do this on a Tuesday, but I had to today. I had to. But yeah, we're going to be doing a lot. But go ahead, continue.
So I mean, we're doing that, and then, like I said earlier, on Saturdays, myself and Mario over from Collecting Weekly, we're doing the reviews, is what we're calling it. Like I said, the first episode was Imperial Jyn, and now on this Saturday we're going to be doing K2SO for our second episode, and we're basically going to go down the Rogue One line and then into the New Hope line, and we wanted to take that opportunity to showcase a lot of the older figures that there aren't really many reviews for. Just for, both new and old collectors, kind of talk about them, give us our thoughts because we've had them for a while. How do they hold up? Things like that. So I thought that was a really interesting, dynamic that we can do together since we both have all these figures together, and some reviews as soon as I can. I've been so busy between that and with work that I'm just like, and obviously what I just said. I mean, we're 5 days in a row where we have these streams going on right now. So and hitting 1,000 subs, I'm getting there. It's taking a moment. So if you guys want to come over, sub, that'd be great. At 1,000, I'm giving away an IG-11. So I got a sealed one in the box. That's going out to one of the subscribers. So looking forward to it, bud. And again, I appreciate you having me on again. And that's it. That's it.
But that's a lot. And listen, with still a whole lot in here as we're signing off, getting ready to go to Lails at 1/6 Scale Man stream, and it starts in just a little bit here. Like 9:10, you said, right? 9:15. Head on over to Lails.
Yeah, it's gonna be a quick one. I gotta get a drink and then I'm right back in.
You want to subscribe to Six Scale Mafia here, folks, and I'm going to plug you as well.
I appreciate
this guy
that.
has great content. Let's get him to 1,000 subscribers. This guy deserves to be at 1,000 subscribers. Got great production. Your production's great. Your audio's great. Everything that you put out is great. It's a real pleasure doing these things with you. I've got the link to this guy's channel right in the video description. So everybody in the chat, go in there. If you're not subscribed yet, click on that link, subscribe. Also, just go to sixscalecantina.com. Go to the resources and links, and Six Scale Mafia is in there, and you can click and subscribe to him as well. And listen, don't forget about me, baby. Is it possible that you're going to subscribe to Six Scale Cantina if you are not subscribed yet? And I say, please do.
Please do.
Please
indeed.
do, baby. Hit the subscribe button. We thank you so much. And hit the like button. Hit the like button, my friends. Much appreciated. Look, my closing thoughts here, Anthony, is this was an epic day. I had to absolutely go live. I don't think that this show would have been giving it justice. We planned it today, and so the first Aries Tarrington show live, and we had to with all this Boba Fett stuff, brother.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 2022 is going to be crazy for Star Wars and Hot Toys. I don't even, and I'm not even trying to hype it up. I mean, they've already done it themselves. I'm just, we're in for a long year. It's going to be a wild ride.
Absolutely, it is. Well, for Six Scale Mafia, Anthony, I am the Dark Jedi, Aries Tarrington. And remember, I don't always buy coffee out, but when I do, I buy from Six Scale Cantina. Stay thirsty, my friends. It's been fun.
You guys have a good night. Be safe.